Okay, hi everyone. As always, I'm Brian Kynes, the creator of the Tales of Ulran campaign setting. We use Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition to play through and tell our story, and all the awesome folks surrounding me help me write it one game at a time. So, you're going to see new faces and awesome backgrounds, by the way. That couldn't be better. It's actually better than mine. So, we'll give you credit. This is Alex. Alex is going to be taking on the role of Miasha, which a lot of folks like Miasha quite a bit. Some people don't, Silouan and all that. But for the most part, she's well received. Down below her, it's Jeremy Keaton, as always, being cool. And over just below me is Sean. Sean's in the process of moving, so he says, so he could be ducking in and out, doing weird shit. We're just going to go with it and see what we can get accomplished, okay? So, having said all of that fun intro shit, let's go ahead and jump into this. Okay, so the last time we were playing, everyone had kind of got this summons and got beckoned to go up to a place kind of on the not-so-popular side of New Gemdar. As we know, New Gemdar is built structurally on the face and side of a mountain, taking up or encompassing a large portion of it. Then you have Skywell, which goes up to Skywatch, the newer part of the city that has been fashioned as an airship port and a naval base of operations. This is wrapped around the side of the mountain, almost facing a completely different direction. And this is a place called the Sanctuary of Wrath. And it looks very, very similar, because we can steal shit, to the picture that I have behind me here. I think it's a picture of an actual place. And if it is, I want to go there really bad. So, the trickiest part about the Sanctuary of Wrath, one, is being allowed to go there, and two, is walking up the steps to get there. There's no landing pad up there, pray tell, but there is a large set of steps that's up to 400 yards long that are treacherous and lined with all kinds of folks. Some are out of breath. You'll see people that have chunked off heavy sets of armor just to climb these things. You'll see all kinds of offerings of food and flowers and things as you go up through the staircase. We took care of that last time. Some had a much easier go of it than others. Constitution checks told the tale on that shit. It was really, really funny. And of course, Oma, because she's Oma, got flown up there on a small airship by Dahan. And Silouan and some of them were not too happy. Jealous would be the word, I think. Wouldn't that be it, Jeremy? Jealous would be the word. So, once we got up there, we were greeted by Yakon-Ru, which is a new character to you all. He had went around person by person and saying that Master Tanima had summoned you there because there was some training that you all needed before you were to go on the long trip into the Crescent Cradle, the jungle and tropical-like region that you all have recently taken up a bounty in. You'll be hunting dinosaurs, guys. Be doing some monster hunter shit, and some people that care don't quite think you're ready. Tanima and some of the other people are part of that thought process, believe that you are not quite prepared. So, as you guys have went up there and Master Tanima had addressed you, there's several folks there, and when we get into the battle map, I'll go through depictions and descriptions of folks that aren't around do it themselves. And what you all had revealed to you was that Yakon-Ru, this large yak folk-like creature dressed in like a Tibetan pacifist attire, was actually a blind man. Which kind of I could see from the reactions that shocked several of you. As he does, he revealed himself to be a Wujin sorcerer, and with the aid of Tanima, his master, and the master of this area, going to his side and giving him advantage on some things, and Drayden as well, the Lion Felidae. He has created some clones of himself that seem to be of a spiritual form. that seem to be lined up in front of him. 3 on one side and 3 on the other. Tanima then lets you all know that this is going to be an exercise in hunting for displacer beasts, or more likely surviving their attacks. This seems to be a method of trickery that they use in these jungles from the Crescent Cradle, and this is going to be our chance to learn a little bit about that before we delve straight in and get to be cat food. So, with that, Sean or Jeremy, was there anything else there I missed, or something else you'd like to mention before I share the map and we start talking about this more?
I think you got it all, man.
I think it's about it, right? How about you, Sean? Does that pretty much cover it? Okay. And Alex, I'm just going to say you're like, absolutely. Whatever you say, Brian, is going to be fine for now. So, let's go ahead and do a little bit of share screen magic. Okay, let's go share sound. Let's go advanced portion. Share screen. There we go. Got a little bit of music playing in the background. Is that too loud for everybody, or is that okay?
Good.
Pretty a better level than we've had before, right? Where you can hear me talking, but you can still hear it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Thank your DM. That's right. So, we will fade from this amazing picture into something you guys are a little bit more familiar with as soon as I can. All right. And now we are here. Okay. So, the people that we have present, and you also notice, guys, that your pictures are a little bit larger on the right-hand side. Is that a little bit better for you than the way we usually have it set up? Awesome. Okay. So, what we have depicted here is this. We have Tamara, which is the human paladin character. We have Oma, which is she's a cleric, but she's a custom class that we created, which is called the Spirit Walker. It's based on a Native American traditions. It has the ability to do cleric spells and summon the spirits of people from her past that actually take on a unfamiliar form. We have Brahmas over here in Merc. I'll let you do that description here in just a minute, Jeremy. Back behind that we have Silouan, the Sky Lancer. She's an avian character that only has one wing, which I don't think she ever disclosed to Miasha or anybody else like that how that exactly happened. Did she, Jeremy? No? Okay, I didn't think so.
Not anybody that she didn't immediately trust.
Okay. Over here we have Caliban. Say it with an H on the end or he'll be mad at you. This is usually played by Hunter. This is an Earth Genasi monk that has a compass tattooed on his head and dark, dense skin that almost has like a stone feel to it. Over here we have the clones that Yakon-Ru has summoned up. And amongst that, we have Tanima here hiding underneath the shade tree of the cherry trees, which is why Alex's background completely kicks ass. And I have Yakon over here. I'm going to go ahead and move him back up into his position. I had to do a little bit of work on his graphic earlier. He was hiding underneath the tree as well. Last but not least, Drayden is here. Alex, this is a character you would be familiar with to some degree, and I want to go through and explain that, okay?
Alright.
So Drayden, let me go ahead and see if he's hiding here. He is. Okay. Drayden is the same kind of species that you are, but he's a different race. He is a lion Felidae monk. He's a character I've had for over 4 years. He is the, I don't know how you would say it in a place like this. He's like the prodigal monk of this place. He's the #1 pupil to Tanima. And this is a place where he's trying to learn how to be a teacher instead of a student. He's a deep thinker. He's a very deep thinker, and when he speaks, he always speaks in a whisper. It almost would remind you of if you ever watched the early Highlander movies. Christopher Lambert, the guy that plays, and they also played Raiden in the original Mortal Kombat movie. Has a very whispered voice. He speaks like that as if he's had some kind of horrific injury, and every once in a while he'll cough at least once or twice in each sentence. He's had some rougher days, but Drayden, he calls this place home, and he's adventured with these folks quite a bit. He is also over here underneath the tree giving Yakon support while he's trying to focus on these clones. Okay? So, as this begins, just to remind everybody that when I speak as Tanima, he is a funny take on Lo Pan from Big Trouble in Little China. So he's going to sound ridiculous, and it's completely intentional. So that's just kind of how it is. Is there anything else anyone would like to add before I go ahead and jump into his description of this test? No? Yes? Maybe? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, we got it. Alright. So, after Tanima is over here to the side trying to help out Yakon-Ru focus on the task at hand, he speaks out to the group in this amazing accent that I'm going to try now. Okay. So, he says, "To best prepare for what is getting ready to happen to probably all of you, it is best that we pair up in groups. That way we can see how you fail and how you succeed. 2 each, 2 or 3, depending on what you like, and how strong you feel." Strong. You hear that? They think they're strong. And he's laughing, talking to Yakon. And Yakon is in the back. The hair that usually covers the large yak folks' eyes is pulled back to the side, and you can see the white glassed over eyes that are pale and blind, as he seems to be releasing some kind of low guttural chant like we discussed last time, when you hear all the monks that can sing in multiple keys at the same time. That's what he is releasing and bellowing up from his large humanoid chest. Okay, as he focuses on these key energy images of himself. Okay, so as that happens, Silouan is in the background, and she's the first one to speak up, as typically Silouan is. She mentions that, well, if we're going to pair up, and we're going to do this and try to get, I don't know, maybe insight out of this, I'm with Tamara because Daehan's not here. As always. Always jealous of the fact that she's been trying to hang out with Daehan more often, and for some reason he is extraordinarily absent lately. So for that, Sean, would you roll a persuasion check for Silouan? Roll a 1d20 and a 1d6 and tell me what she gets. Jeremy, you're going to do an equal roll to see if you're overcome Silouan's efforts to get you to join her team.
D20, D6.
Okay, sorry. Sean, you go first, please.
That's a 22 from me.
22, and what Tamara get, Jeremy?
Is it a D20 and a D6?
Yep.
Not even close. 5.
Okay. So, as always, Silouan bends the ear of Tamara, and these two seem like they are going to be a paired up group to do this together. So, with that, let's go ahead and group them together here really quick. Tamara, Tamara, Tamara. There you are. Go ahead and move you over here. Silouan. Go ahead and move you. And is the movement of those pieces on your camera feed pretty smooth?
More or less.
Good. Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't really choppy or something of that nature. Okay? As long as that's moving good, that means my frames and everything are good for the recording. So we're good. Okay, so just a minute here. Okay. All right. So next, Brahmas, you seem to be looking around, and I know dodgeball's not a thing, nor is gym class in the Tales of Ulran, but this has that feel to it. We're trying to see who wants to pick who, and you notice that Caliban is kind of looking around begrudgingly, trying to decide who he's going to try to pair up with, and Oma is just sitting back there, kind of smiling, looking innocently, not really understanding the deeper dynamic here. And the trick is not to be stuck with someone, I guess you could say. So, you've got to be honest, Merc. You're maybe a little bit distraught the fact that Sylvan didn't pick you. Instead, she's got a new best buddy.
I taught her well. That's all.
Is that what it is? I hear you, bud. So, with that, I'm going to leave it up to you, Jeremy. You can probably choose from either Oma or Caliban to team up with. That is who is present at this moment. Who would you like to lean towards here?
I feel like Merc knows very well that Caliban can take care of himself. So
Yeah.
he is definitely going to side up.
You said Oma? Okay. As you do that and talk to her, roll roll with advantage to try to get her to join your side. Persuasion.
Dirty 20.
Did you say a 21?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Nice, okay. So, let me go ahead and get on here and get this caught up real quick. Just a minute, guys. Okay, so, dirty 20. And let's see how Oma feels about this. For natural 7, Oma would be glad to accompany you in this. So as she does that, she looks over to you and she gives you a nod and she summons out something as she says this. Just a moment, let me go ahead and pull that out here real quick. Okay, let's see. Okay, this fiery eagle comes into view up here at the top of the screen. And she has summoned that into being and hovers down around her shoulder. Okay? Now, with that, Caliban is standing there, and he is the last one left, and it doesn't seem as if he has anybody to join him. So, as he looks around, oddly left and right, there's a voice that comes up from the background of someone that wasn't here previously, but now is making their presence known. As soon as I find where they are. Just a minute here. Just a minute.
That's that good at hiding.
Yeah. So, from over here underneath of the tree, you see Miasha's character come into view. Okay? Miasha, is there anything you would like to say?
Yakon, did you dare start without me? What am I, chopped liver?
As you say that, Yakon goes to turn his head towards you, and Tanima gives him a slap on the shoulder and says, "You must focus. Save the greetings for later." As you wave over, he gives you a nod. Tanima gives you a begrudging nod. You have met him before, but you have never engaged in actual a major conversation with him. It's always been real coming and going. You are not prescribing to this place naturally, but you have a tie and a bond with Yakon, and you know where that's from and how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I could even see you picking at Yakon a little bit when you see him wandering around the city. You may actually grab his hand. It's like, would you need help? You know, making fun of the fact that he's blind, although he wouldn't need it. and also always wanting to know if he thinks it's really worth it, what he puts himself through for the sanctuary. So that's kind of your take on him. With that, who would you like to go up here and pick on? Miasha? Are you wanting to join in with Caliban just for the hell of it, or you want to do something different?
Sure, she'll join in with Caliban.
Okay. So you have met him, but it has been a while. Caliban, when they first saw him, there was a large get-together in this tavern, a very popular place in here in New Gemdar called the Drunken Mug. And there was a dwarven wake that was going on. There was a large frostworm attack on the outside of the city, and a lot of dwarves were lost in it. They were actually on their way back home from the city for a festival type celebration. And they were attacked on the way, and Caliban was at this wake as well. A lot of dwarves were grieving, telling war stories of their friends that fell against the worm. It was a very bittersweet kind of get-together. And Caliban was there to try to win some money. He was doing arm wrestling contests. They were doing axe throwing contests. They were doing bare knuckle fighting. And every time, although Caliban gave his best, he lost every single time. Tamara, the human paladin, beat him in arm wrestling. Jeremy just barely nudged him out in bare knuckle boxing. Is that correct, Jeremy? He did some hit on Jeremy, like this earthquake strike that went through and just rocked his world, man. It was epic. You were around when all this was happening. Most of that night you spent speaking with Sade, which is Sean's character. And in just a minute, I'll let him kind of tell you a little bit about that and introduce himself, so you can understand what the conversation was pertaining to and get a bit of a feel for your relationship with that character. As Sean is wondering now, it's like, did I write shit down? How am I going to do this? I saw the look on your face, bud. All right, so with that, go ahead and explain your character well, actually, you're not actually here. So we'll get back into that conversation at a later time. I keep forgetting, just because you're on video doesn't mean you're on the battle map. So with that, we have our three pairs, okay, that are going to try to go up against these clones. With that, let's go ahead and say that Tamara speaks up. She has her arms crossed kind of cockily, and she looks over at Silwyn like it's her hype girl in like a rap video or some shit. And she looks over the rest of you guys and says, so who's first then? Is anyone jumping out to say anything particular, either Alex or Jeremy?
Promise to step forward on.
So without saying anything, since you're the central character, Promise just goes ahead and takes a step forward. Alex, you okay with that, or you want to debate it?
She'll let it slide. She's not gonna say anything.
Okay. Okay, with that, 3 of these shadow clones come into view and stand before you. Let me go ahead and make that move here real quick, my friend, and then we will do initiative and begin this. I will throw in the comments that Tanema has to say as everything is going on. Just a moment here, sir. Okay, so you're going to see you have 4, 5, and 6. Let's go ahead and take off for a minute. 1 fades away. 2 fades away. And 3 fades away. Then we have 4, 5, and 6 that stand within melee combat range of you. Alright? With that, Jeremy, go ahead and roll initiative, boss. Tell me what you get.
13 plus 8, 21, and then that was plus the modifier of what I'm going to do.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
So 26.
26. Pretty damn good roll. Sean, roll me a 1d20 and a 1d6 for Oma. Let me know what she gets, just out of curiosity.
5.
5 total? What did you
Yes.
do? How do you do that? How is there a 20-point spread between people? Alex is not going to be happy with what you've done here today, sir. Just so you know. 26, 5. Okay, and Alex, I want you to roll me a 1d20 and a 1d6. We're going to do this 3 different times. And I want you to tell me what your first total is.
4.
Man, I tell you what, whew, okay. All good. Let's give a 4 there total. Man, these people are they're just lazy as shit. Go ahead and roll me another one, please, ma'am.
19.
Now we're cooking. And then give me a last one, please.
15.
15. So the marching order goes like this. Merc, guess what, buddy? You're first. Then we got a clone. And we got a clone. Then we got 4 for Oma. And then a clone last. Okay, so now that we've got all that shabako out of the way, Mr. Keaton, what the hell would you like to do to these people? And by the way, explain what your character looks like. And Miasha has stopped and talked to you a couple different times about knowing that there's a different person in there. Explain yourself a little bit for her, just for theatrics, please.
The Brahmas is a large angelic construct, basically angelic warforged of sorts. He's piloted by a human paladin by the name of Merc. And he is basically just the walking fortress.
A walking fortress. Okay. Is that all we got?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead. Jeremy, you are up first. I know it's been about a month or so, bud, but hey, life happens, right? So go ahead and knock the rust off them gears and let's see what you got. Now here's the thing. You know that this is going to be some kind of test and displacement. Okay? So the first thing Yakon says out to you, as he's sitting back here just throwing out smart-ass remarks as you guys are trying to take these things down, he says, sometimes try not to trust your eyes so much. Look the ground, look at the wind. Think of your eyes, not your mind so much sometimes. Oh hell, just try to use everything. Good luck. And that's the large collage of ridiculous advice that he gives you as you try to do something here. All of these clones are semi-transparent. Let me go ahead and capture that. Okay. So you can see through them to a degree. The snow falling actually seems to pass through them as of right now. What is it you would like to do, as you can see? And I have a battle grid, but these squares are pretty close to working 5-foot markers. So you just go ahead and tell me what you're doing here, boss, and we'll get into it.
All right, so the first thing he's going to do is take a swing at the one in front of him.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack, please. And what are you swinging with? Just your sword, weapon, shield match? What are you doing?
Great sword.
Okay.
That is going to be 18.
18. 18 misses. As you swing the sword with 2 hands in a wide arc, these seem to be a little bit more nimble than Yakon-Ru himself, as it is able to stand to the side and move away from your wafting blow. And you hear, over from the side, because that's just the kind of asshole that Tanema is. Go ahead with the rest of your action, Jeremy.
Say, and with that, do they appear like I could pass through them? Like physically move through them?
You're not quite sure. They would look that way. I tell you what, do a
I would say, if anything, he would want to attempt it. He's either going to step on it or he's going to move through it.
Okay, so do you want to just kind of move forward? What I can do is, when you move forward forcefully in my game, I'll let you do it, but it costs you double the movement. It's not like a dash action. That's bass backwards. It's not like a dash action, but if you want to charge forward really hard, 10 foot, I'll charge you 20 foot of movement for it, and it doesn't take your whole movement action, okay?
Let's do it. I'm either going to trample it or I'm going to pass through it.
Okay. As you go through, I need to do a roll real quick here. Okay. Okay, as you go to run forward, just give me a basic and attack roll just for the hell of it, so I can see if he's able to dodge your movement trying to go through him. Fair enough?
Be a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. You are actually able to catch this thing to a degree, and as you charge forward and pass through, right through him, causing no damage whatsoever. And you go to right here on the other side, and it stays in place. It wasn't able to block you or dodge you quick enough. A 20 would have hit it successfully if this were something to hit.
To wit, I will make a swing at the one on the bottom there.
The bottom, it's number 4. Okay, just a minute here. Oh, hold on. What was that one you just... Okay, hold on. Sorry. I apologize. I apologize. Nope, it's cool. Go ahead. It'll work just fine. Go ahead and take a swing at number 4, you said, the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Get 29 to hit.
I think a 29 works. As you swing the greatsword one more time, do you just have 2 attacks this turn, or do you have 3? You have 2 and then 3 the next turn, correct? Or no, you're just 2 every turn.
It's 2, 2, 3.
Unless you want to use Steadfast Assault or all those other fun things. And when you guys use a strange mechanic, explain it out loud so Alex can kind of get a feel for some of the things you're doing, because you all have somewhat similar feats. So as you take a swing at the one on the bottom, the blade seems to strike true. Now it goes through Yakon, or this chi image of it, but it does seem to move the sword seems to affect it almost like a magic item would affect a ghost. There are tracers and trails as if you took a stick and wafted through a thick cloud of smoke. And there's a bit of distortion and a look of surprise on the thing's face as its mouth opens and it turns its horns to the side. Go ahead and roll your damage for your melee attack, please.
I'm also going to add a 2nd level smite to that.
And why the fuck wouldn't you? Hey, it's free, right? Just use your magic points like just roll it. That is such a cool yet broken thing. It's like, well, now that I hit, let's add some D8s on that sumbitch. I love Divine Smite. It's good stuff.
Failing to find it right this second. Can you remind me how many D8s that is?
For a 2nd level Divine Smite, I think it's 2d8 to do it at 1st level, and then it adds an extra d8 every level up higher than that. So I'm going to guess 3. If you don't trust my off-the-hip guess, then you just need to know next time. That's all I can tell you, sir. Look, Tanema's rubbing off on me, Jeremy. I'm being a dick.
You're
No.
correct. It's 2d8 plus an additional d8 for each spell slot higher than level 1.
And that is recorded. I was right about something. Just so we're all on the same page. I just want everyone to know. Ah,
That would be 3d8.
it would be 3d8 plus your 2d6 plus your bonuses and all your good happy shit. And as the satellites link from outer space and the calculating computer bogs down, Jeremy, what is your damage?
24.
24 points of damage. You suck. Okay. With that, I need you to make a, well, no, I wouldn't. Actually, when you rest through the first one, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
18.
18 just passes. As you do, and you're inside of Brahma's piloting, and you're looking through the 3 windows right now, and you are maneuvering in that circle that you do when you control him. The one window frosts up as if ice had just blasted it. You know that you would have taken quite a bit of cold damage from passing through one of these false images. Had been, but since you passed your Constitution save, it's only going to be half of this. Brahmas's outer, okay, takes 7 points of cold damage. And then you would have taken that as non-lethal damage, but subtracted to a degree. What is your non-lethal damage threshold, Jeremy?
For my outer,
Well, what is Merc's non-lethal damage threshold?
1 of 5.
Okay, so you'd only take 1 point of damage from that, and then you'd be 2 points towards the next one. Okay? So what you can do is a very easy way to tally up non-lethal damage, and this is a good learning point for Alex. So your non-lethal damage threshold is how many points of non-lethal damage you can sustain until it becomes 1 point of lethal. Now, because of Jeremy's character's Constitution score, he takes 1 point of lethal for every 5 points of non-lethal that he acquires. So the best way to keep track of that is just keep a number of the full damage. Like I hit Jeremy for 7 there. Let's say he writes down a 7. Maybe 4 or 5 times later on down the road, that number will tally up to get to something like a 30. Okay? Later on, he can just divide 5 by 30 and he's taking 6 points of lethal damage. You know, you want to keep up with it if you're getting ready to get your ass kicked, but it's something you just kind of have to keep track of and do it accordingly. Okay? That's how non-lethal damage works. So, and that was only half of what it could have been, by the way, Jeremy, just so you know. Okay? You've used 2 attacks. You've used 20 foot of movement to rush forward 10. What is the next thing you're doing, boss? You used your bonus action for Divine Smite, right?
I think I just used a spell slot. Didn't
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it doesn't take a bonus action to do that. It's just automatic. Or not a spell slot, magic
I? Or
point.
magic points, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um,
what's next for you, big guy?
I think he's going to leave it at that.
Okay, you going to stand in there in
Yep.
between them being flanked? Okay. As you do, the next person's turn is going to be clone number 5, which is the one you passed through. Okay? So with that, the creature turns towards you and rears its head and does one cleaving strike that would be able to strike everybody within an area, but it ends up just being you. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, that's not bad. Just a minute here. 29.
That hits, but does not breach.
Okay, this hits the outside. So this is important too, Alex. So when he goes through with these horns, it hit his body, but it didn't breach his armor and find a weak point in it. So Brahmas's main defense is what's going to catch this, so this is going to do damage to his armor points. Okay? Alright, so this is going to inflict 12 points of slashing damage. Jeremy, you guys keep track of these yourself if you don't mind. Is that okay with you? And that's going to come off of your outer armor points total. And that will be, you know, you'll put that into your non-lethal damage pile. So you would have taken, if 12 was divided by 5, that'd be 2 point whatever's left. You've taken 2 points of lethal from the impact from the outside getting hit. Your armor points took the full amount. He's going to go again, only this time when he does, there's something else special that seems to be happening here. Okay?
Oh, as a reaction to that.
Absolutely, yes.
That I gotta get all the dust off the wheels. So.
Right, well, that's cool.
I need that particular creature that just smacked me to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yes, sir, and roll me the DC. Another learning point, Alex. In regular Dungeons & Dragons, when you're rolling versus a spell, I'll turn this music down just a minute for this and I'll explain to you. Normally, it's the standard number 8 plus different modifiers. Well, in our game, we roll 1d20 in place of that 8. Because everything deserves a 1d20 roll. Whether it's how well you cast a fireball, to how strong you're able to perform the charm spell you're trying, the 8 is gone, and a 1d20 is in place of that. Just like an ability score, an attack roll, anything else. Which makes difficulty classes for things either really good or really bad, but a lot more scary. You know, so
Okay.
for instance, you know, your basic person may just have a, like, stunning strike for a monk. It'd usually be 8 plus their proficiency bonus plus their wisdom. Well, now, if you roll a 20, the DC for that stunning strike could be like 24, 25, 26. Or maybe you didn't hit that nerve right the way you wanted to, and it's like a 7 or an 8, and it really sucks. A D20 roll, I think, is a good move, and we always put it in all of our spell casting. Okay? And now, we will continue with the butt kicking.
18.
18 is the DC.
Yep.
And for Yakon-Ru, 17. What happens to my buddy?
He is going to take a little bit of Hellish Rebuke at 3rd level,
Good deal.
which is going to be 18 minutes, second, cast it second or higher, then increases by 1d10, so 4d10 fire damage.
Roll that beautiful shit, sir. Food, food, food. Oh, yeah.
13, 23 points of fire damage.
23. Okay? You don't see this have the effect on this image that you just went through a few minutes ago. So it doesn't affect it as much as you would have hoped. And as soon as you cast that, and you know that you struck the one solid that was down just below you, you kind of think to yourself, oh yeah, that's not a real one. Shit. But
Does it have an effect on it, or does it look like a diminished effect?
it does something to it, but it's not very much. It only takes half of that. So what is half of that amount, sir? It was 23, wasn't it?
11.
12, yeah.
Um,
However you roll it when you go up or down off an odd number.
We'll just trade back and forth. We'll say 12, buddy. I'm an easy guy. I'm an easy-going fella. All right. So, as that happens, let's see how we want to do this. Okay. Yakon gets ready to cast that other one, getting ready to cast spell, as we said just a minute ago. Okay, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw versus a DC of 29. He rolled a natural 20. Good luck, Jeremy.
20.
Yeah, he rolled a nat 20 on this DC.
Yeah, I only rolled a 20.
Okay, which is still pretty fucking for Brahmas. That's pretty spectacular. Okay, so when that happens, he circles his hands around, and the arms begin to mirage and look a little bit strange for just a moment, and then several different strikes come at you from all different angles, and it's almost comical in the way this looks. You see flash and images of different faces of Yakon-Ru appear to the right, to the left, to the center of you, and he seems that he has taken all the turns of all the people that were left, and there's this kind of weird Wu-Jin magical version of Flurry of Blows, only he's performing it with all these characters at the same time. Okay? It's a very strange thing. You literally think you just got caught in a phantom Yakfo clusterfuck. Try saying that 4 times fast, and that's what this looked like. So mechanically what happened is he made everyone, he has the ability to use an action and make everybody have a time to go at the same time, and it does almost something that looks like the Steel Wind Strike spell, which is in one of the new books, and if you look that up you'll understand kind of what's going on here. Okay? But it's called the Steel Wind Strike. That's the foundation of what this move is capable of. Okay? Now you rolled your dex check, but you were unsuccessful. So, we're going to do this. Oh my. Okay. So, 10. Keep these in mind. Write these down. 10. 11. 15. And 14. That was all force damage that hit you from every different angle at the same time. You took all of it because it was an area attack thing because you didn't pass your dexterity. Okay? So all those together is how much force damage you took. Alright, now the thing is, that hits your outer. Because that was an area spell and you're 100% covered, okay? So that goes fully to your armor points, and half of that, or divide that number to your non-lethal damage, okay? So what was the total of all 4 of those numbers, Jeremy? 50. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, so that'd be 10 points of lethal damage to Merc on the inside. So as this is happening, you're actually getting shook in here. It's like there's a fucking earthquake, Jeremy, as all these different multiple hands are just hitting on the outside. It sounds like hail on a tin roof inside of Brahmas, as shit is starting to happen. And that is going to end its turn and the rest of them. The next person to go up is going to be Oma. They have all forgone their turn. It's going to be Oma's turn last. Is anyone saying anything as a free action and yelling at this as it's going down? Alex, I'll give you a chance. And Sean, you as well, if you're yelling some kind of encouragement or you have something you want to say as a free action that maybe Brahmas could hear. Get out of there!
If you just hear some light killing coming out of somewhere.
So, Jeremy, in the midst of all this, and you're round and around, it's like you're on a goddamn wooden roller coaster. All of a sudden, you hear just some. It's almost like Rowan Atkinson is in your ears, like, oh, okay, so you're hearing some strange shit. With that, Do you have anything you would like to say to Oma as she is getting ready to do something? You see her getting ready to conjure out something, you just don't know exactly what. So she has the Firebird up there in the air above her. Is there anything you're wanting to yell at her?
Keep your distance, Oma. I'll keep them busy.
Okay. So, she cleverly called out this Firebird, which you do not know the actual name of that bird. That's something privately between her and him. But it does the Firebolt spell and is able to divide up into 3 particular bolts casted at high level here. It is going to send 1 bolt out towards each one of these to hopefully hit one and find out what's true. That's what she's doing first. Now, Firebolt, is that a cantrip or a first level spell, Jeremy? I think it's first level, isn't it?
Firebolt is a cantrip.
Okay, so she still has a chance to do a different spell as well.
Yeah, Firebolt is 1. I think Ray of Fire is 3 bolts go out at once.
Okay, that's what I thought. Mind you, I'm playing 5 different characters here because no one wants to show up for D&D. I get it. So be leaning on me on rules here, folks. And if I start fucking up, just slap me straight, okay? So I think those are 1d8 each, aren't they, Sean?
Let me double check right quick.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Teamwork, yay!
Scorching Ray, that's the one you're trying to cast, right?
Yeah, Scorching Ray, yeah.
Well, that's
Scorching
going on.
Ray
Yes, go ahead, Alex.
Miasha's gonna say, "You have eyes. Make sure you use them."
Okay. Tandem yells out aside, I just told him that.
Each ray is 2d6 fire damage.
2d6, that's what I'm paying. It's better than 1d8. Thank you for your patronage. So, the first one hits. For 13. Okay. Second one, Oma casts out of there. Misses. Ooh, shit. The third one, nat 20. Nat 20. I like it. Let's go. Oh gosh, a 5 and a 6. I like it. 11 times 2 is 22, plus her other thing. 27. And that's on the one that actually bleeds a little bit. So that's the right one. So she hit the hard mark on the one that actually can feel it. And that is fantastic. Oma knows which one of these clones is the real one now because she was smart enough to do a spell that targeted everybody. That's good, dude. Damn. Alright. So, after that, and the dust has settled, you see something strange, Jeremy. Roll a perception check. I'll let you... This will kind of tell me how much of this you understand's going on here. Actually, you know what? Roll me a perception check, and based on that, we're going to do something else.
15.
That's fair enough. That's about the minimum you could have had. Now that you've seen it, roll me an Arcana check.
That one, 13.
What was that total?
13.
You see some kind of shift among these three, and a quick blur of movement between them. And you don't know how or what, but you have a feeling that something has moved around that's not in the same place it was last round. Okay? And it's your turn again, buddy.
What about Miasha?
How about Oma?
Miasha.
Oh, what about her?
Did she get a chance to go yet?
She's not in this combat. She's waiting for you two to get done.
Oh, okay. I thought it was everybody on it. I got
Nope,
it.
not at once. Remember, that's why we grouped up. That's why you picked over.
That's what I was wondering. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now I got it.
Yeah, okay. She's like, what about me, Brian? What the fuck, man? I'm sitting here trying to smile and be pleasant while everyone else is having fun. Ah, God
Alright.
blessed. Your turn's coming, Alex, I promise.
That.
It's all good.
It's your turn, Jeremy. What shall you do?
I am going to.
I am somebody.
I'm going to go for a swing at the top one.
Okay, so the top one being, come on, dual screens, Brian, number 6. Okay, what are you going to do as you go for the top one? It's like Ghostbusters. It's like, get her. That was your whole plan. Get her. What is it you're doing when you go for it?
Take a cleave.
When in doubt, swing your sword, sir.
Just putting a feeler out there.
Is that what it is? Is this the catfish tentacle? You're just trying to find something to eat on? I get it.
22.
22 hits. As you swing through and hit this thing, you find purchase automatically. As I rolled a 1d6, 1 and 2 was one of them, 3 and 4 is another, and 5 or 6 was this one. What is it, Indiana Jones? You've chosen wisely. So, good call, my friend. And at that, you see Drayden in the back let out kind of a muffled roar as you see Drayden throw his hand up. And he goes, that's how you do it. Right there now. Now, finish it off. Proud of you, boy. Proud of you. America. Get on that. Okay, so, what are we doing? Because all I see is a bunch of hat, but I don't see a bunch of dice rolling. I need to know. You've slashed him. You've hit him. Now what's next for you, sir?
He's going to swing at him again.
Okay.
Kind of taking an overhead swing at him.
Alex, just so you know, there is much more to Brahmas than just swinging in Divine Smite. He's just being simplified right now because he hadn't done this in a little bit.
Being a little cautious. I don't want to go burn everything on the one that ain't it.
Right on. Well, this is it. You found purchase. Flare it up and let her see some of the shit you can do, buddy. Flaunt. Be a peacock. Just let him go.
I'm going to use my 1d6 for great weapon or for weapon specialist.
Weapon specialist. Alex, this is something you have.
Yes.
Once per turn as a weapon specialist, you can add several different benefits to one of your rolls.
Now you said you can add that. Like I rolled a 15, and then on my d6 I rolled a 5.
Yeah. Now normally it's a 1d4, isn't it? On
Or a
weapon
1d6
specialization.
per day.
Ooh, yes, sir. You can add that to your critical hit chance.
Yeah.
Your
So that
angry
would put me
damage.
at a nat 20 then, wouldn't it? Or
That would
critical
put you
hit?
at a nat 20, yes.
Bingo.
Okay, so you just did a critical by using your weapon specialization one time a day. Big payload move with the greatsword. Now that you've done that, what would you like to do to the sword as a bonus action? You want to go at it, or do you want to add something special?
Well, I'll give you my damage for the first hit. I never did,
Okay.
which was a 6, 10, 22.
Is that double dice?
No, that was just for that first hit. I never rolled the damage for that first hit.
Oh, okay, 22, okay. As you do that, Jeremy, I want to make a mention that you see that this thing seems to be what would a spiritual version of bloodied. As you go through it this time and waft the blade through it the second time so quickly on the first guess, which was awesome, this thing has a hard time forming itself back together again, as if a great wind has blown through it and it seems to be disoriented to a degree. You also have combo attacks, so you'll get a +1 on your next swing as well.
So I would put it at
20 plus. So yeah, you're
plus
already
10,
critical. So
31.
yeah, you did really good. So go ahead and, like Harry Carey'd say, do some damage.
And as a bonus action, he is going to overdrive.
Explain to Alex what this is.
I'll get there. Just one second.
He's like, I gotta remember first.
going to overdrive weaponized strike.
Okay.
It's going to be sacred flame.
Okay. I'll explain while you're looking it up because it's really neat. So, Merc has learned how to push Brahmas to his utmost limits, and he can do these things with a bonus action called overdrives. So he can put the effects of low-level cantrips into strikes that he does. Like, for instance, he can do a blurred move, he can do a shocking grasp move, he can put different kinds of slow and haste effects on himself, but when he overdrives it, he has to roll a dice. The higher the dice, the better the effect of the overdrive, but the more damage Brahmas takes.
Okay.
It's almost like pushing the gas down, almost blowing the engine in a car. So that's kind of the dynamic he has. It's a pretty cool thing. So, weaponized strike. How are you weaponizing it, Mr. Keaton?
It's going to be with sacred flame. So as you see Brahmas coming back with his sword, he kind of, he did that overhead slam first.
Yes.
So he's going to bring it up, kind of across this thing, and as he's bringing it up, it's shining really bright.
Okay. Nice, buddy. Okay. Is this single hand strike or two hands?
Just single.
Okay. Go ahead, roll your
It's kind of like
damage.
he's just sweeping around with it.
Yep, and all your dice are doubled on this, bud. So
So
tell me good things. Because unlike some DMs, I'm rooting for you, sir.
plus 14 plus 10, so 24 just for his weapon.
Wow. That's doubled already?
Yeah.
That's still impressive. And then what about the other part of it you're adding?
So 1d8 radiant, 2d8. Going to be 6 radiant damage.
What is that doubled?
Yeah, that's it.
6?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did a total of what again? It was 20 something and 6. What was it?
It was 24.
Yeah, I think so. So that's 30 plus your bonuses.
Yeah. And that's including my bonuses. So should roll pretty low on that.
So 30?
Yeah.
Okay. With 30, this thing seems to barely be holding on to cohesion. As this thing is having a hard time and it's struggling with the other 3. As that happens, roll a perception check for the hell of it, and Alex and Sade, you all do this as well. And tell me what your perception checks are, please.
I got a 14.
Okay?
22.
22, you sneaky son of a gun. What do you think, Alex? Do you know yet, or do you need some help?
Let's see. 4.
4 total. So a butterfly landed on your nose. You have no idea what's going on. As we're moving on to Sade. Sade, you would have been the only one to notice this. Or not even Sade, just Sean in general. But Yakon seems to be physically affected. Not like it's hurting him, but mental wear. Like he's playing a game of mental chess and he just got knocked back a notch. Just things for you to know.
Got it.
Moving forward, what are you doing with the rest of your turn, Jeremy?
I am going to do.
That was your second attack. The only thing you can do is steadfast assault to do more.
Steadfast assault. That's it.
Okay. So, when Alex comes back, I'll explain to her what that move does. Roll me a Constitution saving throw for Brahmas, for the actual body of him.
18 on the con, so
You're fine. This will not have any effect on you for doing this. This takes 15 foot of movement and gives you 1 additional attack on your turn.
19 to hit.
19 to hit. Let me look here for a minute. Total 19?
Yep.
Just misses.
Is it too late to? Or I can still use a D4 in weapon specials, can't I?
1 time per turn. Yes, you can. Yep.
Okay. So using the D6 doesn't cut that as long as it's not 2 D4s in a turn.
Correct.
Oh, that's +4.
So
23.
that is a hit. It took 20 to hit it.
Cool.
You were 1 away. That's cool, right? So go ahead and roll your damage for your sword attack.
17.
17, and you see, once you cut through it this time, I'm going to say theatrically, paint me a picture. Tell me what this looks like, Jeremy.
I would say that after taking the rocking that he has, and then going into overdrive and then pushing himself even further with that last strike, you're going to see Promise kind of smoke it just a little bit. And
Okay.
then, you're going to see him almost like pick up some of the concrete with his next swing.
Oh, taking some brimstone with you. I like it, dude. Okay, let me play off that. That's awesome. So as you do, and you drag the sword from low, and it puts this rake through the actual stones of the courtyard as you're coming up and smacking into this creature that you've targeted so easily. It brings sparks from your sword against the edge, and as you cut through the image of Yakon, the true one, the image splits and goes both directions, and behind it you can see Yakon sink a little bit like this as the hair that was floating at one point seems to waft down as these 3 particular clones at that moment seem to fade. As you were able to target successfully the one that was accurate and defeat it. As you do, the rocks that you pick up and shoot that way over to him, the rubble and shit like that. Tanima, roll me a 1d4 to see how many pieces, just for the hell of it. I want to have fun with this.
1.
Just 1.
1 chunk.
Okay. You see him actually grab that piece as it deflect missiles. As you're ringing it up, you see Tanima just go like, boom, and grabs that shell of the air and looks at it. He says, that was quicker than I had expected of you. Good job. Well done.
Promise will give him a kind of a nod.
He's looking at that rock and goes,
if he could read Promise's face through, if he could read Merc's face, it's just kind of like,
yeah, it's like kind of like that. Yeah, that's this guy. That's this guy. You would probably look over at Silouan and kind of be like, throwing some shit after that stuff at the bar. So he looks at that rock and he takes it and he collects it and puts it into his robe quickly and swiftly, as if it's going to be some kind of momentum for him, like a snow globe at a thrift shop. Okay, so with that one, your trial, Jeremy, is over. Drayden comes up to your character and gives you what looks like he's wanting to stick up for a fist bump as he holds his fist up beside your character. He goes, that was nice work. Holds his hand up like that. As you do, he's extraordinarily solid, as you know. And he says, I haven't seen it done that well, or that easily. In some time, it's impressive, Merc. It's impressive. And he goes back over to the side, and Drayden looks out to the rest of you, the Lion Field Day. Says, Who will be next? Who would like to try their hand at this? Make no mistake, it won't be that easy again. With that, you have Sade, which is not around, so it is you. You're up, Alex. Shit's getting ready to happen. Yay for you. So our playstyle is I try to keep everybody involved by having you do rolls for NPCs and asking you things, because sometimes these fights can take a little bit, even simple ones. And all I ask is just keep in mind I am trying to get everybody as quickly as I can and
Oh,
still
that's
give
fine.
people their shot.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, so let me go ahead and adjust some things here. Okay. Brahmas, where would you like to go? Would you like to go back and talk to Oma about this afterwards, or I'll give you a moment here to have some theatrics. What are you doing
Yeah,
as you...
he'll walk back and speak with Oma.
Okay. As you do, what are you two having a conversation about, sir?
Well done, picking out the real one.
She would look at you for a long moment, and she would look out there, and she would absently kind of touch her lip, and she goes, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew there were 3 of them, and I knew that my eagle could target all of them. I'm just glad it worked out, and then you did good too, she says, and she kind of nods. And she goes, you're getting, and she looks up at Brahmas in this form a little bit, as if it's not you, like she knows you. She goes, you're getting better at this. Okay. So,
Promise to give her a nod.
okay. So let me put away the eagle. The eagle fades back out of view, everyone. It is here, it served its purpose, and you hear a squall to a low, chiming drum beat as the eagle soars back in underneath of her cloak, and the flames lick around it, and then go backwards, almost like a recording of fire being played backwards. Okay? So, with that, it is your turn, and beside you is Caliban. Now, Caliban, I try to do Hunter justice. Hunter's voice is very deep, which makes a lot of sense for this character, because when I did him as an NPC, he had a naturally deep voice. You'll notice that Caliban is a bit crude, borderline arrogant, but he tries to fit in a little bit of humble in there when he can. And he wasn't welcome to this place initially. That is something that your character would know, because that's something that he talked about at the bar when he had been drinking. And when he first wanted to come to this city, he wanted to go up here and train at this place, but they refused him just because of his attitude and his demeanor. And they knew he was too desperate and he wasn't going to accomplish anything here. So him being allowed to be in here now is good, but he's wanting to play it cool. He still wants to act like he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder about being allowed to be in the doors.
Yeah.
And he's a brand new member to the group. So, you'll notice that people kind of watch him kind of close and just make sure that he doesn't do anything too foolish. And it's not because they don't fully trust him, it's because they haven't had a chance yet to fully trust him.
Gotcha.
Okay. Let me find you, Caliban. There he is. Okay, so I'm going to put him right here. He looks over at your character, Miasha, and he says, if you're able to find the right one, you just let me know, and I'll put an end to it fast. He's a very heavy hitter, and when he talks, he has nothing but confidence in himself. What is Miasha saying to this?
It shouldn't take too long. Let's try to beat their record.
He looks at you and is kind of nodding like this. Try hell. We're going to. He holds up his hands in a fighting stance like this and gives you a nod like this.
Brian,
Yes.
please check your messenger on Facebook.
I will, everyone, because I have 2 screens and I can do magical shit like this. I like it. Everyone, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Nothing to see here, nothing to see. Just 1 minute here. As you can see, the light on my face as I'm looking through multiple screens just now. Just a second. Sean, I'm sorry I'm not paying more attention to that stuff. I am kind of DMing 9 people right now. It's an easy feat, though. It's a labor of love. I'll make no mistake. I'm getting ready to get a beer here in a minute. I went to a brewery earlier and got some Sunday beer. And I got these 33-ounce craft beers in these cans that they actually seal up right there in front of you. $8 each, and I got 2 of them. And I am, okay. Got it. Just a moment. Just 1 second, guys. I'm writing down some notes. Okay. Nicely done. All right. And what's great is where I have the split screen now, I can look through all these multiple pages, and it doesn't really affect what you guys are seeing. And that is a win in my book. So, also, Sean, if there's anything else you need to put up on there for any reason, feel free to. I have that pulled up now, so yeah. Okay. So, like I always like to say, with that, you two have had your conversation and whatnot. He gives that bow. When you did that, Miasha, were you like mocking his own bow back to him, or were you doing your own thing? I couldn't quite see what you were doing there.
Oh, she was just cracking her knuckles.
Okay, sweet. All right, so let's go ahead and set the screen for this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that you two move to the center. Let's go ahead and put Caliban right here. Now, do you want to get in front of him or behind him? Where would you like to be based on where Caliban is stationed right now?
To the side of him.
Okay, and you want to be on this side?
Yep.
Or this side?
First side. That'll work.
Okay, cool. All right. So with that, Yakon-Ru gets ready to do his thing again. As the spirit clones come back into view, down here just a little bit. Okay. So, with that one, Tanima steps up, walks between them gently, and walks over and stands in front of Caliban for just a moment. Gives him a long look. He looks up at him. Caliban's a pretty large. He's only like 5 foot 10, 11, but he's fucking wide from what he's explained. And as he does, he looks up at him with a stranger tone to his voice than you're used to hear Tanima speak with. He seems more earnest and a little bit more humble in this quiet moment. And he looks up at the large earth genasi. And he says, I did not keep you from this temple because you didn't prove yourself to me, genasi. You're too busy trying to prove yourself to you. Work as a team. Do something for someone else other than yourself. He takes and looks at his hands, and he goes to touch one of Caliban's hands to make a metaphor about a fist. And as he does, Caliban pulls his fist back, kind of in disbelief about the whole thing, looks at him and he goes, I've climbed these steps of my own free will. Goblin. He says, why don't you just take a look at what I can accomplish when I believe in myself instead of the words of someone I've never met? With that, he says, Tanima looks back up to him. I want you to roll an intimidation check for me, Sean. And 1d20, 1d6. And then Jeremy, I would like for you to do a check for... Now, what is it on the other side of intimidation? Help me, DMP, Dungeons & Dragons people. If you don't want to be intimidated, what is your counter roll for that?
Well, insight or I guess a counter intimidation.
No,
I'd say a counter intimidation. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. So, new rule. Good job, Sean. And Jeremy, I'm going to have you roll one for Tanima, but this one has a 1d20 and a 1d10. Sean, you go first. Tell me what Caliban rolled.
You rolled a 12.
Okay, Jeremy, what did Tanima make?
16.
16. It's strange. Like I said, Caliban may not be the wisest in his upbringing right now, but he is painfully confident in what he has just said, only narrowly beating out Tanima's wisdom and piercing eyes. As he says that, Tanima just kind of smiles and, we will see. We will see. And he walks backwards away from the group and gives the boys time and room to play. Okay, with that, we will turn the music back on. And it is initiative time, everybody. So, I will have Jeremy, you can have fun here, and I will let you do some Caliban shit for me. I'll let you make calls, and you can just generically base it off the shit that you know that you've seen him do before, and we will make it up as we go, because I'm not trying to be perfect with this, because it's a lot. But we have a flavor, and we know what he can do, and I got his numbers. Okay? Okay, so you go ahead and roll initiative for Caliban, 1d20 and 1d6. Tell me what you get.
18.
18. Okay, I'm going to roll Miasha. Roll me some initiative. And here's how this works. It's a 1d20 plus your proficiency bonus
Okay.
plus the skill points that you have spent in anticipation or foresight, which you have spent several. Your bonus to initiative, I think, is really good, and it should already have that added up there on your character sheet, middle of the right-hand side, about halfway down. There'll be an initiative box there.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Okay? Now, those two numbers go towards, and that's a high number. Now, the last part of this is, whatever you're choosing to do on your turn, that kind of modifier is what goes into this. So let's say you were a sorcerer, and you were going to cast some magic. So you would get a 1d20 roll, plus your proficiency bonus, plus whatever skill points you had on foresight or anticipation. That's getting the jump. And then it would be the modifier of charisma. That's what they cast spells with.
Okay.
But you might be doing something physical. And since you're a dexterity-based creature, or fighter, if you're wanting to do something of that nature on your turn, then you're going to add your dexterity modifier to your initiative roll.
Okay.
That way it changes depending on what you plan to do. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Okay. It's something they don't do much in D&D 5th edition because it's simplified, but we like to do this. It makes a difference.
All right.
So let me roll that and let me know what your total is, please.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. And now I will roll for the clones. Just 1 minute here. So we got, let's go ahead and reset these. I'm going to call this, well, you know what? I'll keep it the same. I have clones 1, 2, and 3, but since we're only doing this one group at a time, I'll just use the same 3. And I'll just erase some of my damage numbers here, and we'll be good to go. This is 4, 5, and 6. Okay, just a minute. 4, 5, and 6. Got it. Okay, and we'll do it for number... Jeremy, just for the hell of it, give me initiative for clone number 4. One d20 and 1d6, boss. We got.
D20, D6.
Yep.
9.
Holy shit! Wow, wow. You guys sure know how to roll shit for other people. Alex, for the fun of it, roll 1d20 and 1d6. Tell me what you get for clone number 5.
9.
9?
Yep.
What the fuck, guys?
You know I roll bad.
I'm starting to learn. Yes. I tell you what, the queen of the bad roll, though, hands down for several episodes, is Oma. Her name's Alex Porter. And she's a different Alex than you, and man, she could not roll good to save her life at the beginning. It was rough, man.
It's a
That
curse.
reminds me. One second.
Well, I'll let you guys know just now. I just rolled initiative for number 6, and I got a natural 20 and a natural 6. So y'all just don't know how to do your shit. That's all it is.
You gotta share me
Wow.
about the time I rolled 7 nat ones in a row on different dice.
That's fucked. That's not worth anything. Okay, so just a minute. I've got some order to write down here.
That was some dark magic that I was there to see that day.
Just a minute. Okay. So, taking these things in consideration, and I have to go to ability scores here to see who gets to go first. Yeah. So, how would you like to do this, Sean?
I would like to hold my action till after the spiritual clone takes their turn.
Okay, got it. Got it. Okay. First person to go in this situation is going to be Miasha with a dirty 20. So, Miasha, no pressure whatsoever. You get to take your first official turn. I gotta take medication for my problems as a member of the Tales of Ulran crew. So, of all the plethora of crazy things that you have to do here, what would you like to do to start your turn off, ma'am?
She will do a kick attack on the first one. Number 5 that's closest to her.
Okay, that was going to cost 5 foot of movement to go towards it.
All right.
Okay. Now, as an option, you have advanced martial artist. So you can do things with your movement.
Is that under the feats list?
It is, yes, ma'am. So you can do things with your movement that will improve things. Like, for instance, if you want to do a spinning strike on him or a jumping attack, you would have to do simply an acrobatics thing and subtract 10 foot off your movement. And you could enhance just going in with your kick attack. Also, as a bonus action, when you land a kick attack, you can do a touch-based spell that you've learned as part of that kick attack as a bonus action.
Okay.
Now, but I don't think you've went through and figured out what spells exactly you have yet, so that's something to be done at a later time.
Yes.
But if you'd like to make something up, as long as it's within reason, I'm okay with it.
All right.
So, looking at that feats list and looking at advanced martial artist, is there anything there you would like to do for a little bit of flavor on your go?
I think she'll do a elbow strike.
Awesome. Okay, so for everyone watching, the way this works is she's going to do a normal attack with a -2 to her attack roll. Now, if that hits and lands, she gets an automatic follow-up with her elbow with advantage. And if it hits, it has a chance of dazing the target. Am I correct in saying that, Alex?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get the...
Perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Now, that's going to be 10 feet of movement.
Okay.
I need you to do an acrobatics check for me, and the DC of that is not very high.
Okay.
It's only a 10 to pull off the basic stuff, and then when you start compounding it, it goes up by 5 each time. So if you're doing a jumping, spinning, back fist, that'd be 3 different moves. It'd cost you 30 foot of movement, and the DC would be 25.
Gotcha. She rolled a nat 11.
Okay, that passes. So you get this. Automatically, you can attempt to do this because you've made that roll. So,
Okay.
Miasha goes in, and she is doing some kind of leaping uppercut, kind of Ryukin, where she runs up here and does this. She's going to come into number 5, and she is going to do a kick attack. And if that happens, she's going to follow up with a secondary knee strike afterwards, we'll say.
Okay. So she rolled a nat 12, and what do I add to this?
Okay, this is going to be your attack bonus. So in the middle of your character sheet, you'll see the weapons and things that you use in a large rectangular square.
Yeah.
To the far end of that, to the right end, it'll be a total attack bonus that you would add to a 1d20 roll. I think yours is maybe a 13.
Yeah, it is. So, what, a 25?
Yes.
Okay.
That absolutely hits, but now we have to see if this is the right one or not. So I have to roll something fun. Okay. So. Okay. Okay, as you swing and go through this thing, you feel that it hits purchase to a degree, but not as much as you would have liked. It seems that this is not the true one, as you've not made any kind of moves to determine if this was a true formed one or this was an image. You just kind of went at this sucker and started swinging.
Gotcha.
So you do whatever it is towards this, it's only half. So go ahead and roll your damage for your kick, but it does hit.
All right. A D8. So 6 total damage.
Okay,
So
and you
3 damage for the.
correct. So what you do is here now at the very end of that same column where you saw your attack bonus,
Yeah.
there'll also be your damage bonus that you add to damage that you do of that type.
Where?
I will grab your character sheet here. You know what? No, I'm going to pull it up on my screen because I'm a badass that way right now. I can do it.
Sorry, guys. Bear with me. I'm trying to.
And this is part of it today. This is perfectly fine. That's why we're here doing this. Okay, let's go ahead and find Miasha here. Da-da-da. Miasha! It's almost up, guys. Just a moment. The old computer's like, Brian, how can you ask me to do so much shit at the same time? What is your problem here? It's getting ready to pull it up here in just a second, guys.
All right.
There we go. And let's do character sheets. Let's do Miasha's updated character sheet. Okay, so, yes. So all damage that you're doing with your kicks is +4.
Oh yeah, I've already added that.
Okay, that's one. Now I've got your character sheet up. I'm looking at it the way you are. So
Okay.
it's, what is the total of that?
The total was 6. I rolled a 2.
Okay, and now if you wanted to, now that you kind of know this isn't the true one, you know you're doing damage to this.
Mhm.
So you could go ahead and do the follow-up for some kind of effect, or you could stop yourself short and move on to another one. It's completely up to you. You're not quite sure
Yeah.
how the mechanic of this works.
She'll stop herself short, and she'll go on to the next one.
Okay, so that's 5. You said 6. It's halved. It's 3. Okay, so having done that, you have attacked him. Which one are you moving on to next, and which direction are you going?
She'll go down towards number 4.
Okay, so this is going to be 5, 10. Now here's what's great. You have your chakrams you can use to have a 10-foot reach. Now if you do that, you're going to be able to attack this thing, but if you go up to it, you're going to be out of this one's range and it's going to get an attack of opportunity on you.
Yeah, she'll use a chakra.
Okay, so once as a free action on turn, you have the ability to draw those out.
Okay.
Okay, more than once, and it takes a bonus action and things of that nature. So you can only draw one time per fight. Okay.
All right.
All right. You have your chakrams, and you start spitting them out. And this almost looks like the kind of performance and dance you guys have seen her do before, as she swings them around her arms and gets momentum up, whips them around her neck, and she takes it and whips it around her foot and kicks the chakram out at this thing with force. Go ahead and make your attack roll, please.
All right. All right. 22.
A 22 hits. And when it does, you feel the chain jerk as if you have hit something that has more substance than the last one. You have hit the true identity one.
Gotcha.
Okay?
9 for damage.
Okay. And this is number 4. 9. And as you do that, I need you to do a dexterity saving throw, and I'm not telling you what the DC is.
All right. 10.
Okay. As a reaction to that, the very first one, number 5, does a thing that you've never seen done before. Anyone that makes a successful melee attack within a certain area of this creature, it has the ability to do this as a reaction. Okay? So the first thing is, it seems like it takes a spell or chi or something from it, but it takes it and it turns it into a powerful, like, shield blast-like form. And as your chakram goes out and hits the creature, this spell's damage counteracts that damage. And for every bit that it surpasses it, you take on the other end of it.
Okay.
It's almost, it's an interesting thing. It's a feat that you could actually learn. It's in the master list of stuff. It's a cool one. And that is going to be, you cause 9 points of damage with that, correct? Okay. Oh, you're lucky there. Hell, it only reduced it by 2. I rolled 2 natural 1s. So instead, that creature took 7 damage, or that image of it, as it didn't perform this quite as well as it thought it would have. Okay, that's your second attack. You've used 5, 10, 15 foot of movement so far.
Okay.
What would you like to do next?
She'll let Caliban know that the one she's currently fighting is the real one.
Okay, well, here's the problem. Well, you know what? I'll allow it. Because normally that free action is to yell out a thing or whatnot, and you used it to draw a weapon in the middle of combat.
Oh,
But
okay.
we'll say it's a monk weapon. So for this, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Okay? See how well you convey this information to Caliban. Nat 1.
14.
14, he gets it. He gets it. As you say that to him, you hear him, his traps go up like this, and he frowns down, and you see like earth cracks and stuff go in between his brow, and you can hear almost like stone breaking and shit as his muscles tense, and he breaks up, and you can see he gets this kind of green glow against both of his fists. It looks like green flame of some kind creeping up along onto these runes he has written on his forearms, and he starts slowly starting to march forward, stoically, as if his movement is reduced because he's focusing on what he's getting ready to do. Okay?
That'll be her turn.
Yes, so that'll be the end of your turn. You have all kinds of extra movement that you could use here to get out, or you want to stay there with it.
She'll stay there.
Okay. Alright, after that, let's see whose turn it is. That was, hold just 1 second here. Just a minute. Make sure I'm doing this right. So you went first, didn't you?
Yes.
So, okay, now it is the clone's turn. Okay, now this is what it looks like. That is going to be number 6, this guy up here. Okay, so what he prepares to do is he is actually bending down, and the hoof starts to scrape at the ground, and it throws up like woofs and whiffs of like radiant like energy, like smoke and rubble, and it starts to lower down its horns. As you can hear the bells and stuff that hang off Yakon-Ru's horns starts to jingle slightly, and as it does, it starts to move and flash back and forth. Sean, is there anything you'd like to do at this moment?
Yes. So my character has 3 attacks total. Can they use all 3 to perform this cinematic thing that I want to do? So
Maybe.
Okay. So it's thematically it works. So I just wanted your approval. So
Yes, you know
out
what?
of
If it's a
nowhere,
step 1, 2, and 3, absolutely. Where would you like me to place you at here?
60 feet somewhere.
And
But
what
where
is-
I have line of sight for the center of this ring.
Okay, 60 foot away.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so while moving out of nowhere, apparently, a kunai comes flying and lands in the center of the ring. Just sticks into the ground.
And what is that for everyone that doesn't know what that is,
Kunai,
including
a
me?
kunai is like a tiny dagger that ninjas use.
Awesome. Okay, so out of nowhere and from back behind Caliban, um, Brahmas, make a perception check with disadvantage as you hear something whizzing past your head, landing into the middle of the ring. Not good, eh?
I rolled a nat 1
Well, hell yeah, you did.
and a nat 20.
Well, better luck next time, big guy. Sorry, this advantage sucks for everyone. So, okay, so some kind of object lands here in the middle of the ring. It looks to be some kind of small oriental-shaped blade that lands solidly in the stone. What is next, Sean?
Hand motions are made, and 2 key points are spent to cast darkness on the kunai, as darkness billows out over the whole battlefield.
Awesome. Okay, so let's do that. That will be really cool. Okay, so just 1 second here. Let's go here. Let's go shape. Okay, and what's the range on that?
So it's a 15-foot radius from wherever it's been placed.
Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Something like that.
Yeah, so in the center of the,
We're going to dim that down just a little bit. Isn't that great? Just being able to use effects like that and shit. I love it, dude. Okay, so that is that, people. Okay, I'm going to call this darkness.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to get it like to where it envelops Miasha, Caliban, and most of the clones. Yeah,
Okay.
as much as possible.
I'm getting ready to move it here in just 1 minute. I'm going to put this here underneath weather. And you're wanting it to be about right here?
Yep.
I like it, my friends. That suit your need?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you are still not within sight of anybody. You're just doing your thing from a distance.
Yep.
Okay. So with that, is that your major action to cast that? Or is that key points?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of my actions.
Okay.
And then
anything
bonus
else?
action, hide. Bonus action, hide.
Okay, just for the hell of it, not that you need to at this point, sir, but go ahead and roll me a stealth check with advantage.
That's a 23.
23. You didn't know dragonflies are this big around here, Brahma, so something just went flying past your head. And all of a sudden, poof, there's darkness in here. I would like you to roll me a history check, Brahmas.
18.
This looks familiar. You've seen this done somewhat similarly to this, and you just think darkness follows Caliban around everywhere he goes. He's like, this is like the black cloud over the shoulder of the guy. This is uncanny. This can't be a coincidence.
All I
Okay?
was thinking is, I'm glad he didn't use that on me when we were boxing.
Right. Yeah, that's it. You're like, damn, Caliban's got some shit now. Okay. So with that, that is the end of that. The next person to go up, let me make sure I'm marking these off as we go. Okay, so we've got, you went, and you went, and now we're getting into, somebody else's shit.
Okay, so just for Alex's benefit, this particular darkness is magical darkness, so even if you're dark vision, you can't actually see through it.
I
Right.
gotcha. I figured.
Yeah, which you do. You have low light vision and things like that, but in here, it's
That's
how would the English say? This is you're proper fucked. That's what you're-
Unless you have true sight.
unless you have true
Yeah.
sight. Look at her with the book of knowledge. Okay, so With that, it's going to be one of the clones' turns. Now, what's interesting about this is Yakon-Ru is not involved in this circle, but his clones on the inside are. Now, I have to debate on what his sight would be using these things. So I'm going to roll something here because this is some mystic weird shit. I'm not sure if Yakon being blind, doing these things and using blind sight to fight anyway, if this would even affect him. So I'm going to see. You know what I mean? He's conducting all this from his own senses to begin with because he's a blind person.
Say at the very least, being blind, he would have a degree of tremor sense.
Yeah, I would say blind sense allows you to see 20 feet around you, even in magical darkness.
Yeah.
So you're relying on other senses too.
Well, he's having Tanima help him with ability checks as he's conducting the movements of all three of these based off what he's sensing. Yakon's not actually seeing anything here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him some disadvantage on a couple things, but we'll just see how it plays out. I just wanted to make a note of that to you, okay, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a very unique situation. Okay, so the first clone is going to go first. As this happens, we are going to do the exact same thing as before. All three of these clones. Let's just do it like this. Let's just be fair, shall we? Here's what you guys see inside there. Jack shit. Okay, let's just be honest. Here's what you're noticing and hearing and smelling. Now, I want to make a point of this, that Alex's character's senses are very decent. So, every time you do something like this, I would like for you to do a wisdom saving throw against a DC that I have in my head, Alex. And if you're able to do that, I'm going to say you're able to use some of your hearing and smelling abilities to possibly pull off something without disadvantage each time you make an action. Okay? That just gives a little bit of credibility to the fact that you are finally trained and you are a fucking cat person. Okay? We're going to have some fun with this shit. Alright? Lots of things going on in here. So, with that, you, Alex, and Caliban hear all these flutters and all these movements, and that checking that all the chanting seems to be emanating from the inside of this place in just empty space. You feel wind go by you as you feel the silken thing on your body flipper a little bit, and you can hear a small light chirping sound of nervousness, Miasha, as something seems to be clinging to you tighter than usual. Okay? As that happens, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw. Now, here's your chance. I'll tell you how many of these you get to do. Oh, shit. Okay. Roll me a dexterity saving throw and let me know what you get. Or, no, sorry, wisdom saving throw, Miasha. This is for your senses. You are muted, young lady. I can't hear you.
A 9.
A 9.
Yep.
Okay. Roll that for me 3 more times and tell me how many different times what you get.
Nat 20.
Okay, so one of them you can sense. Go ahead.
16.
Okay.
15.
All right, stop there. Okay. So. Okay, so let me see what my rolls were hearing. Let me roll one more time, make sure. Oh, shit, yeah, okay, that'll do. Okay, so, considering things, here's what happens. You feel strikes, forceful strikes, hitting against you as you have to only imagine in your mind that something is happening in this darkness that you saw happen outside of it just a few minutes ago to Brahmas's character. there are multiple images of this thing that start zipping around and flashing in and out of existence, fighting and striking things within this area. You were able to sense one of the 4 strikes that came at you. Okay? It didn't get advantage. It rolled normally, and it did miss you because of that. The first one with advantage on it was a 29. Does that hit you?
Her armor class is 31. So
Yeah,
no.
so it did not.
Yep.
By the way, for everyone watching, not only does Miasha have... I kind of want to tell you about this, guys, so you understand the ridiculousness here. The well-earned ridiculousness, mind you. Oh, I don't want to let me move it. Here we go. Okay. So she starts a base of 10, right? 4 for proficiency bonus. 4 from Dex. 5 skill points spent on deflecting attacks. And because she's unarmored, she gets a +4 charisma bonus onto her armor class primary as well. She's rocking a fucking straight 31. Now, if she gets hit, she's wearing hankies. Okay? So she has nothing protecting her. But to hit her, you're going to have to staple her down. It's going to be a chore. So, I just wanted to go ahead and talk about that a little bit for the group. So, okay, the third one missed you, and the fourth one was a 31. That hit. So 2 of the 4 attacks going through this made contact and actually physically hit you. Okay, now, here's something you need to know about Miasha. Miasha is the reaction queen. Okay? You have spent this feat of lightning fast reflexes where you have 2 reactions on your turn that you can utilize.
Okay.
Now, you have 2 different abilities when you're doing your fluid motion that let you use a reaction to evade an attack and move back 10 foot away from it. Do you see those moves I'm talking about? This will be under the Dancer class. I'm going to pull it up too. And guys, and I'll get to you all in just a minute. She's trying to learn, and there's a lot to this person, so I want to talk her through it. Let's go to the Dancer.
Alright.
Okay. And I'm going to scroll down to the page that says Fluid Motion. Okay, we're going to see back handsprings under Fluid Motion.
Yes.
Are you looking at that? Okay, it says when a creature within 5 foot of you attacks, you may use your reaction to perform a dexterity saving throw of DC 10 plus the dex of the opponent. On success, you take no damage and move 10 foot backward from your attacker and attempt an evasive counter-strike of your own with disadvantage. So what this looks like is someone swings at you, you do a back handspring, and in the middle of that, you can either kick out a foot at them, toss a chakram at them with disadvantage, and you move 10 foot back away from them.
Yes, please.
Okay, so now that you're in darkness, you can use a reaction, try to have one of these attacks move you, but it's going to be at disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a dexterity, dexterity saving throw with a DC of 13.
Disadvantage, right?
Yep.
7. Is she proficient in Dex for saving throws or no?
Well, yeah, you're proficient in dexterity, and you get to use your evasion skill points you've spent on evasion too.
Okay, let me find that.
You've spent, I think, at least 4 on that.
Okay, so I rolled a 3.
So that's plus 12, which is 15. That works. So you're able to move back 10 foot from the direction of something attacking you. So just for the hell of it, tell me what direction you would like to move backwards in.
The one she was facing, she's gonna go backwards that way.
Okay, over this way?
Yep.
Okay, got you. Just a moment. There's 10 foot. And roll with disadvantage to make a counter strike against whatever one it was that was coming after you there.
9. 14. So 9.
Plus 13?
Plus 13, yeah. So 22.
That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage for whatever it was you were using.
Which one's for the counter strike? Oh, is it just a shock
Roll.
or claw or?
Whichever one you used, yes.
She used her Stockholm's last, so I'm going to assume that she would use that again.
Good deal. I like it.
5 plus, so 9 damage.
Okay. Jeremy, roll me a 1d6. I want to see which one of these she hit and was trying to get her.
4.
Okay, cool. You didn't. It felt like it was one of the fake ones,
Okay.
but you did some damage. Okay. Now the next strike. Do you want to use another reaction and move even further away, or do you want to let this kind of hit you? Or what do you want to do? You have 2 reactions a turn.
She'll use her other reaction. She might as well.
Okay, go ahead and roll for a DC of 14 dexterity.
You said with disadvantage, right?
Yep, because you're in darkness.
That one.
Okay, it hits you. So you waste that use of fluid motion. You only take half damage from the move, and you're still able to move. Well, no, from that without being able to sense it, it's just an utter failure.
Yep.
Okay, so the attack. 9 points of force damage, and you don't have anything really to reduce that because your armor is pretty much just there for show.
Yeah.
The leather armor is something that you used to have, but you don't have that anymore. You pretty much just wear the dancer's garb and things like that. You don't have any roll damage reduction.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you take that off your character, please. Make sure to keep track of that.
All right.
And then on the last attack, it did hit. We're going to go ahead and roll damage on that. Woo! 16
All right.
points of force damage to Miasha. Okay, and I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me, please, and tell me what you get. Okay, that is success on this one. So you take half of this. You take 3 points of cold damage.
All
As
right.
on that one, you feel like this one took its attack to push on you and actually moved through you, like a ghost would move through a person. Okay, and with that, their turn is done. That is all 3 of them. And now this is the beginning of the next turn. So, Sean, what would you like to do?
Stay hidden and just observe.
Okay. I wanted to mention that roll a perception check for me, Alex, with disadvantage because of all that shit that was going on around you.
And that one. I
Okay,
didn't
nope.
want to have to roll again.
You think in the back of your head, I wonder what's happening to Caliban in this mess. But you're
Okay.
just not sure.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, at the beginning of the next turn, the first person to go is going to be clone number 6. So they are again going to go ahead and do this maneuver. I'm going to roll to see how many of these work. Okay. 4. Okay. Let's see who they're going to hit and what they're going to do. 2 for each. Okay. So, again with this, you're just on the outskirts of the darkness, but you're not really sure where you are. Right now, Alex, there's a whole lot of things going on in this area.
Yes.
As that wind starts to pick up again, and these things get to go another time. Okay?
All right.
Okay. 28 to hit on you, Alex.
Misses.
Misses. Okay, you feel something waft past you as you're able to just barely jump out of the way. 31 does hit you, correct?
It does.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you like to do a reaction with disadvantage to dodge out of the way of this attack?
No, not this one.
Okay. So, That is 10 points of force damage.
Alright.
If you get down below half of your hit point total, let me know and I will announce that you are bloodied, okay?
Okay.
Okay? And then, okay, this time you hear Caliban physically grunting and making noise as it seems like something has hit him and has hurt him.
Okay.
But, okay. Okay, that works. Okay, the next thing you hear, okay, well actually you feel it first, Alex, and Merc, and all the other people around this area, as all of a sudden you feel a rumble in the ground around you. As you hear this heavy hit happen onto the actual earth, Alex, around you, as Caliban is using one of his special moves against this creature, the one that you hit and identified. Okay?
Yes.
Let me find that real quick. Let me find Caliban and I will make the adjustment real quick. I think I even have a graphic for it. Okay. So, just out of the top of this darkness, Sean, you'll notice this graphic. What looks like a large earth elemental wrapped in a green energy, the same color that he had coming from his arms. This seems to be Caliban, wrapped in stone for a temporary moment, as his two mighty arms reach up, being far taller than the 5'10" stature that he was before, as two thundering fists come down and impact the ground. Everything in a line out from him in a cone shape has to do a dexterity saving throw or take force earth damage from him when he uses this move. This is a 2 key point skill that he has. This is Quake Fist. Okay? So as he does this, we are going to see how he randomly aims this thing. Okay, now when the darkness happened, the three images were standing in front of him. Okay, and this is a 15 by 15 cone is the way this move works. It goes out as far as his bonus movement for being a monk at the level he is. That's the range of it. Okay, so we're going to do this. Let me go to Caliban here. Let me go to, let's go up here with another shapes here. Okay, right here. Let's go right here. Let's go shape. Let's go. About right. Triangle. Okay. 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. Bam. Okay, let's rotate this bad boy. Okay. This is the range that this thing has right now. Now, you guys are going to help me decide how he's directing this. Okay? So, Jeremy, just for the hell of it, a 1 through a 2, and I'm going to say he's going up around this area with it. 3 and 4, he's going to go right up the center with it. And 5 or 6, he's going to go down this way with it. He's going to step up and try to hit this thing point blank at these bastards. That's his thought anyway. So he's going to be able to either hit just one of them. It just depends on how the hell he does this. So go ahead and roll me a 1d6, Sean. Tell me what you get. 1, 2 is going to be high. 3 and 4 is going to be the sweet spot. And 5 or 6 is going to be low.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so he's going to go high. So just trying to help him out with this maneuver here, I'm going to say this is how it ends up going. Okay. So let me go back up here where I was at. Shape here. Okay. Let's move this. I'm going to say at this angle, he's able to capture the two of them in it as he shoots it out at this angle. A lot of shit going on here, guys. Sorry. Caliban. And he is going to be standing right here when he does it. Okay? So now 3 and 4, he would have hit all three of them because it would have been centered. 5 and 6, he would hit the bottom two. So he's going to go this direction when he shoots this thing. Jeremy, roll me 2 dexterity saving throws, 1d20 and a 1d6 each one. And I'll tell you if you pass or not, boss.
9 and a 20.
Okay, so the 9 absolutely did not pass, and the 20 would have. So, on top of that, rolling his dice, roll me a 1d20. I want to see how good his rolls were. 20, his rolls were great, Jeremy. 1, his rolls were shit.
19.
19, he had great rolls. With this maneuver, that is going to be 27 points of damage going in that direction. And that's going to catch number 6 and number 5. Neither one of those were the ones that were real here. It's the one that we found earlier. That was number 4. Was the clone that was real. So he just blasted the shit out of 2. That really didn't matter all that much. But when he does that, with the amount of damage that he did, one of the clones actually disappears. Okay? They all have a certain amount of energy that they have possible to them. And number 5, well, we'll say, yeah, number 5, from in front of him, fades. And it is taken, even at half damage, the most it is able to take of him still focusing on this move. So, now there are only 2 to select from. Okay? Let's go ahead and delete that shape. The clones win again. Miasha, you are up. What would you like to do at this point? You are still in darkness. Sean, there's been nothing that would mess with your concentration, so you're perfectly fine. You just felt this crazy shit go through the ground. I mean, it felt like thunder just shot up through the tiles of this place. You don't know exactly what that was. You don't know if it was friend or foe, but you heard Caliban yell, mightily yell. So, you know, he was building up something, but it's just kind of hard to tell, really, at this point. Use your better judgment, whatever you want to say.
Let's see. Can she focus and try to see what she can hear around
Yes.
her?
Yes, ma'am, you may see what you can hear. I like it, dude. And that's the name of the episode, guys. Let's see what we can hear. I'm going to write this down. We always name the episode after something funny that happens, and that's, Alex, you took it. You took it by a mile.
Just try to see where everybody's at, or hear where everybody's at.
If you do that, I would like to say that you are going to at least use your bonus action.
That's perfectly
To
fine.
focus on it. Roll me a, what did we say it was? A wisdom check, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a wisdom check. With
Oh.
advantage, because it's you using your senses.
Very cool.
I think that's how we discussed it.
16.
Okay. That just gets it. You will be able to perceive that there is something within about 15, 20 foot straight ahead of you.
Huh. She's gonna go for it. She's gonna hope it's not Caliban. She'll go for it.
Okay, yeah, right? And this is more from the strange chanting sounds that you're hearing coming from some of these, from the air and the way it's wafting and things like that. You can hear that there are certain leaves from the cherry tree on the ground. You can hear the way they're scooting against a stone in odd fashion. You're able to use your senses and figure out that there's at least something there. Now, you'll have disadvantage to attack it still, but you have a sense of where it is.
Sounds good. She'll do an advanced martial artist attack.
Okay, you're 15 foot away from an area that you think it would be in.
Yep.
How advanced we getting? What are we trying to do, Miasha?
Just a knee strike.
Not, oh, okay, you want to clinch and then do a knee strike, or you just want to do
Yeah.
a leaping knee, or what do you want to do here?
She'll try to. She'll just do a leaping knee strike.
Okay. So, of this 15 foot, which you can easily jump because you're a fucking cat person, and we've discussed this, would you like to jump for all that?
Maybe 10 foot of it.
You can. I mean, I'm fucking all about it. I'm all about the extremes. You do what you want to do.
If she can jump 15 feet, by all means.
You can, my daughter can jump like 16 and a half, so I think you got a pretty good shot. My daughter's a track star, man. She's a senior this year, and she's boss. So let's go ahead and do this.
Disadvantage. Let's see.
Yeah, for the attack roll.
First 12. Nat 1. That's a
Well, hold on for a minute. I need to do something. Would you roll me a concentration check, Sade, with advantage for Yakon-Ru because of what just happened? Because he can't see and hear the best either. And disadvantage equals each other out.
So just a straight roll? No additional?
1d20, 1d6, sir. For concentration.
That's a total of 20.
Okay. Let's see. Caliban's attack was... Okay, with Taneman's help, he is able to actually see this coming to a degree. Just sensing it the way you do. So your disadvantage and his disadvantage cancel each other out in this, Alex. So this is a straight roll. So was that a 12?
Okay. It was a 12. 12
Okay.
plus whatever. 13 for her.
I was going to say, don't you whatever me. It's 13 and you know it. Okay. So 12 and 13, that actually would
25.
hit. And that was going for number 4, correct?
Yes.
Yep. And that one, luckily for you, is the one that is its true form right now. It did not use a bonus action to recollect itself after the last turn due to the move that Caliban did. Buy him a beer and thank him later. So, go ahead, let's move you and make this hit, and I get to give you graphics. Yay! Let's do cool shit. Here. Miasha. I got a lot of stuff going on. Here we go, Miasha. Okay, so let's do cool shit. So as you jump and do this, you get a graphic. Yay! You're doing your fluid motion claw attacks.
Yes.
You're jumping across there. Where'd you go? And 5, 10, 15. Okay, so you get to add a 1d4 for every... you get 10 foot of movement is what it costs, plus you went 15. That's a cost of 25 foot of movement.
Okay.
Okay? So 1d4, 2d4. So that's 3d4 damage added on to whatever it is you do from your regular attack.
All right. 8 for the D4, and then for the knee strike, would that count as like a kick? Or is it?
Yeah, I think a knee strike, it says on there. I think it's just a regular martial arts look on your feet thing and see what it says that a knee strike does. It's plus something to your regular damage.
Receives a bonus of 1d4 damage plus advantage with an accurate and deadly follow-up knee strike.
Right, so that's if you're doing the clinch, but you're just doing a jumping thing of your knee. So what this is going to do, this is going to do your regular 1d6 damage.
Okay, 1d6.
And then you're going to add the 3d4 in it because you jumped so far to do it.
6. So 14 damage.
Okay, and is that in total? Did you put your +4 on that?
Oh, I did not. Plus
Okay,
4.
so that's 18, correct?
Yes.
Okay, 18 total. And you understand how I got to that. Once you jumped, you got an extra 1d4 for every so many feet that you jumped.
Yes.
And that was added on to your regular attack damage. Okay. And these things really don't suffer the effects of being stunned or dazed or poisoned or anything like that because they're chi ghosts and they just don't believe in that shit.
Yes.
Okay. So you come through, you land, you hit into something solid. You've used one attack and 25 feet of movement. What is next for Miasha?
She'll do a kick attack.
Okay, go ahead.
That is 29.
Okay, that definitely hits. And go ahead and roll your kick attack damage, please.
8. 7 damage.
Okay.
And you mentioned the 5 PR or APR, right?
Attacks per round. APR.
Okay. So she did 2 last round, correct?
This turn you would get 3, correct?
Okay. And she'll do another kick.
Hell yes, man.
Kick up and then come back, follow down with a kick.
Do you want to spend her 10 foot of movement and do something really cool with it? Advanced martial arts?
Not really. She knows where he is. She can't really see.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead and go for it then.
17.
17 misses, unfortunately.
Alright.
Now you have combo attack, which would have put pluses to that as they built, but
Uh-huh.
17, even with the bonuses, still would have missed it.
Gotcha.
Okay. As the last one seems to waft around, and you catch the sound of a like a deep exhale from Yakon's nose as the last attack doesn't go in through. I can't tell you if you can see if it's hurt or not because you just can't see him.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the end of that turn. The next one to go up is going to be Caliban. Jeremy, Sean, you guys decide what is Caliban going to do in his turn. He just erupted this shit. Now he would burn through a lot of chi if he were to do this again, but he may not have any plans for the rest of the day. He can do all kinds of different shit. So give me an idea based on knowing him a little bit. What would you like to see him pull off here?
I would think in his arrogance and his need to show off,
Yeah.
probably try and do the same thing.
Okay. And Jeremy, what are you thinking? You agree with that shit?
I would think so. Just kind of in a little bit of a fit of rage. Just really go in there.
Okay. All right, Hunter. You're going for it, buddy. Now here's the issue. He does that. I'm going to roll a wisdom check of disadvantage for him because he may be so full of himself he doesn't realize that he can hit Miasha. So, Jeremy, I'm going to have you roll that. 1d20, 1d6. DC for this is 15. 15 or higher, and he doesn't want to do something like that towards where Miasha's at.
7.
He don't give a fuck about the cat lady. It's going down. As Sean Nelson gives a small grin of satisfaction at the bottom of the screen. See, Hunter? See what we do to your character when you're not around, buddy? You gotta... It's just terrible. It's terrible. Terrible reputation. So he comes down with glorious earthen rage. Miasha, I need you to do a dexterity saving throw versus a DC of... I'm just going to tell you for the fun of it. Oh, shit. 20.
7.
To get away from Quake Fist.
It didn't work.
Did you just say it didn't work? Is the dice broken?
My dice are, yeah.
You know it's a bad roll when they don't say the number or say low or roll low. They just go, it didn't work. So I get it. I get it. You're eating food. I understand. You can't be. It's all good. So, but what did work is the move on you. And you take an unfortunate amount of damage because this thing is not... It ain't no baby. So let's see how this goes. Oh, God. That's okay. I thought those were 8s, but those were 3s. Because I was like, whoo, shit. Okay. Take 15 points of earth damage. In this situation, it is bludgeoning.
Okay.
Okay? Earth damage takes on different forms depending on the way it's being used. In this case, the earth damage is bludgeoning. Okay? And you, since you fall, that you are prone.
Okay.
So you have fallen from this. Would you please remember that you are prone and mark it down on a piece of paper somewhere? As you have fallen, and you can't get up. Now, with you being prone, because your buddy over here don't know how to pull his punches, the dance sadly goes away unless you're breakdancing, but you're not proficient in breakdancing. So it fades away as pretty as it was. Goodbye. And now we're going to go ahead and say that was aimed at number 4. With that, strike. You hear this moan and this sigh of relief as all of a sudden you feel a waft of energy as if the clones have dissipated. As if this hit that he put on there for the last time tied in with your kicks and you're being able to sort it out through this darkness, and the clones that Yakon summoned out fade. Which one was one I took away earlier? It was that one there. Let's do them all as a group. Okay. And say goodbye, clones. Okay. With that, Sean, is your character able to see in this?
No, but we can choose to disperse the darkness. Knowing that the character can hear the chanting stop, she'll drop the darkness.
Did you say you wanted to disperse the darkness?
Yeah.
You should say it like that guy from. You should say it like Bane from Batman, since you're an actor.
How does he do it? I'm trying to remember how he does it. Yes, I want to disperse the darkness.
There it is. Very nice, sir. Thank you. Thank you for being a sport. Dim the music here just a touch. Okay, and with that, we're like, hey, Caliban, are you going to put that move away, or is the DM just forgot about you? What's going on here? Okay, let's do that. Sorry. Caliban is raging right now. Let me get rid of this ridiculously cool move that he has, and goodbye, stone version of Caliban. As that happens, Caliban walks over and approaches you, and he gives a prideful, and you know what, just for the hell of it, okay, yeah, that works. He gives a prideful nod to you, Miasha, with the double fist like this, and goes like that towards you, and then he goes over slowly towards Yakon and Tanima, and gives another one. He's not being cocky. He's not looking arrogant, but he's being stern. That's how he is. So he's telling you thank you for what you've done, Miasha. And he looks over at Tenement and saying, like, and then backs up and walks away. Do you have anything to say?
She's gonna brush off some of the rubble.
Right.
I just like how you see things, Yakon.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Alex?
She said she told Yakon that she doesn't like how he normally sees things.
Okay.
That was very insightful.
Okay, and you're saying it to Yakon or?
To Yakon, yeah.
Okay. He looks over for a minute, and as he blinks his eyes for just a second, the wafting hair seems to fall down from his face, and he stands up with the help of Drayden, my lion field day, and Tanima, as they kind of help push him back onto his legs where his knees have got sore from how long he's been stooping. You don't think that Yakon is an old person by any means, but just doing this move and putting us through that test in this particular way is taxing on him, and it shows to a degree. Sean, is there anything else you would like to do before I come off of the battle map at this point, or you just want to narrate this, or anything else you want to accomplish at this point? You've never been in view the whole time.
Nope. My character will shadow step from one place to behind the tree that Tanima is standing in front of.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So as that happens, you're shadow stepping to the tree that Tanima's on?
Yeah, to like behind it so that the character can like come around.
And are you still? But you still want to stay in
I'm already
stealth, correct?
Yeah, I'm still hidden.
Okay, all right. We'll just go with that then. Okay, just a moment here. Sorry. Okay, and there we go. And turn that down, and we're good. Okay, cool. So once that has happened, guys, let's go ahead at this moment, and we're going to take a break. I think. Let me stop share for just a minute, okay? Okay. Usually at this point we like to take about 10 or 15, piss, get a beer, do other things of that nature. I can't wait to show you the size of this freaking can. It's glorious, my friends. I'm not gonna lie. And then we'll come back and do a couple more things, and we'll try to wrap this up between 9:30 and 10. Does that sound good for everybody? Okay. Let me go ahead and get ready to pause this, and I'll see you guys back here in 10 or 15. Okay. Did that record? Did that pause recording? And the recording is back. I really want to watch this back to see me fluster with trying to stop the recording. That was fantastic. It was fantastic. So, what was the name of this episode again? Let's see what we can hear. We can hear. Okay. I like it. I tell you, Alex, one of the best ones ever was the Bromancy School of Magic. Ron and Jeremy's character cast a spell together, and they decided to start calling this the art of bromancy.
It sucks because he's not with us no more, so can't actually use it.
I know it, man, but it's all good. He's an NPC for everybody. We got him, and I sent him a message talking about that to a degree, but he's such a busy dude with the family. I haven't had a chance to speak with him. But anyway, if you're watching, Ron, it's all good, buddy. Iggy forever. Iggy for fucking ever. All right, so we're going to continue on now. We're done for our bullshit session, recording it. Sean is going to be driving and DMing and dungeoning. So this is D&D for him. If there's any loud noises where he's not focused and seems to get an accident, we can always take it out in post, right? We can edit that out. He gets into a wreck, we'll be good. It'll be fine. So let's go ahead and I will share screen. Let's get back into it for a little bit and do a little bit more narration with this. Advanced, share sound, portion of screen, and share. There you go. Does it look good to everybody? As it did before. Okay, you're like, well, no worse than it did before, Brian. Thanks a lot, buddy. It's all good. It's all good. So, there's one more group of folks to go here, everyone. Now, neither one of these players are here tonight because they are doing other things, but we can have a bit of fun with this if you would like, or I can just narrate it and go on. Jeremy and Alex, I'll let you guys decide. Would you like to do some rolling and see how it goes for these two? Or would you just like me to narrate this and then get on to the aftermath of what Tanema has learned from us and what we have learned from him? What do you guys think? Jeremy, I'll let you go first.
I'd say let's roll some dice because I'd like for them to be here to learn what he has to say. That way they're in the know. I know we will eventually relay it to them, but
Right on, right on. And Alex, you good with that?
I'm down if they're okay with my dice betraying me.
Right on, right on. No. Trust me. Everyone has ups and downs, man. I tell you what, truth, Jeremy, of all the episodes we've done, I don't think Tamara has had that bad of rolls in the past. She's usually been pretty fucking solid, hasn't she? I think she's pretty down. Sean, do you mind making a couple calls for Tamara as far as things you might want her to do as we're going through this? We'll do the rolls as long as you make the calls. That sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay. Just keep in the back of your mind some things that you've seen her do before. We'll put them down and do a very simple form of them and see how it goes, okay? So,
Got it.
with that being done, Caliban, Callie, you'll hate that, Caliban makes his way back over to the side of this ring and sits down in the stone and is twirling his finger and playing with a couple of the pieces of debris and stuff that Merc and him have broke loose from the stonework in this place and their epic skills, is just twirling them around as a genasi does that controls elements like this. So let's go ahead and move him over. Okay. Put him over to the side. No major victory speeches for him. You know how he is. He's somewhat subtle. And we're going to put him just underneath the edge of this cherry tree. A cherry blossom tree out here by the edge. Miasha, is there anyone you would like to go up to and address as Tamara and Silwyn are getting ready to get for their next turn? Is there anybody you want to talk with? Anything particularly you would like to do? You talk to Yakon for just that moment. You have Tanima here, which you've never directly addressed, and you have Drayden, which is someone you barely know, but seems like a pretty good dude, over here underneath of this tree.
She'll not address them, but she'll sit sort of on that side.
Okay. Would you like to be on the side of Tanima? Would you like to be back behind Yakon or over by Drayden?
Kind of back behind you, Con.
Okay, just one moment. Let me get you moved over there. It's a good call. You know, it's one thing. Normally on these tiles, I can flip your perspective to where you can look left and right, and it's really cool. It makes sense. But I had to be a smartass and put everyone's names on their tile. So if you want to spell it backwards, that's perfectly fine with me. But yeah, I kind of kicked myself in the ass on that one. Let's go ahead and move you back here. You're going to be out of sight. You're going to be back here behind Yakon and Tanima. Okay? And if at any moment you want to have any kind of conversation with him as this is going on, you guys just as easy flowing interaction. Just let me know, okay? Alright, with that, Silwyn comes over semi-dramatically. Says, "My God, is it our turn yet?" And she walks over there and she pulls her lance out and she's spinning this thing. And to see her, I want to give you a moment here, Miasha, and explain to you your relationship with Silwyn.
All right.
Okay. Now, Oma is the one that, if out of all these people, the one that you seem to be the closest and most fond of. That's the Native American-based style character that summoned that flaming hawk earlier.
Yeah.
She is the first mate on a very popular airship in this town called the Lai Lung. Lai Lung is the name of an ancient Oriental dragon. Okay, and she is one of the mates on that ship. She's a very powerful cleric, and is very precious to the ship's owner. The ship is owned by a person called Aeolus Moonstrike. And Aeolus looks like a... Oh, did we ever decide on an actor for him, Jeremy? I can't remember exactly. Yeah, we did. Oh, God. Lucifer from the Lucifer TV series.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who Aeolus is after. He's a swashbuckler with long, light brown hair that's bleached out on the edges from the sun. He carries around arcane rifles and pistols and shit. It looks like a swashbuckler and has that, oh, do tell kind of way about him. Okay. She has went up and down Skywell, which I've talked to you about, is that large circular stairway that leads from the top of New Gemdar to the bottom, where you perform a lot of times. And Oma has stopped many times to listen to you perform and clapped and really enjoyed what you do. Also, in the back of your mind, at first you felt like you were using her, and now that you know her a little better, you kind of hate that. You were that hasty at first, but you really wanted to get to know her to get in good with the people in the Lai Lung, and maybe they would hire you on one of their flights.
Yeah.
You could get information for people, fun shit like that. But once you got to know these people and know Miasha is a true, very good person with her own past, you've kind of put that in your back pocket. You don't feel like using your ability to manipulate and be conniving, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to use that on her. She's better than that.
Gotcha.
And it's your first step in being a better person in the city, and not just using people as tools, but making real friends. And she's the first step you've had towards that.
Okay.
Okay? So, Silwyn, on the other hand, the second that you were offstandish and kind of standing back away from things when you first met Silwyn, first off, she was drunk. In game, and possibly a little lit outside of game, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy. And she just wanted to make it known that anyone that she did not care for that person at all, because you were being very withheld and things, and she wasn't being hateful. It was in a playful way. So now that you're getting to see her do this, you know Silwyn has some ability. In being a Lancer and having the one wing, and as painful as that would have been for her, she is extraordinarily upbeat with her life right now. She is like, this is the first time the little country girl's been to the big city. She's never seen anything like this before. And you know that because they've talked about it. And it's just very interesting to you to see her dynamic and how she performs. Now, Tamara, you know, is just a juggernaut badass. She is kind of the commander of this group in some off way, whereas Sean's character has a really interesting angle on things and makes very good suggestions to us. At the end of the day, when Tamara says it's time to take care of some business, everyone usually gets on board with her. She's kind of like the mother hen of the group. Is that fair to say, Jeremy? Okay. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two get up here and do this shit. So, without saying anything else, let's just go ahead and get into it. Silouan's going to take a place back a little bit further, and Tamara is going to go a little bit more up front to meet and greet these fuckers, as she might very well say if she were here. Let's go ahead and go on Yakon one more time. I know I'm wearing you out, buddy. No more chi points left. Okay. Let's go ahead and move the whole flock. We'll go about right there. Let's turn up our music just a little bit for a touch. Okay. We'll just go for a little bit here. It's 6:31. We usually stop about 6:30, but I'm willing to do a little bit more of this if you guys are okay with it. Is everyone okay?
Good.
Okay. We won't stay on any longer than 10. So, now that we're in this shit and it's starting to get real, let's do some initiative. Okay? Just a minute. Jeremy, I'm going to have you roll Silouan's because we've explained before you understand what she can do a little bit. And Alex, if you would roll for Tamara's. The reason we do a 1d20 and a 1d6, 1d20 is the regular roll you do, and 1d6 is a loose interpretation of all the bonuses they may have. That's why I always do it like that. So just a minute, roll your rolls, and I'll ask you what they were in just a sec, okay? I have to rinse and repeat here. And let's go to Silouan, Tamara. Okay. So, what did Silouan get, Jeremy? 20. Dirty 20. She would like that. Alright, and Alex, what did Tamara get since Sean can't roll?
A 9.
You're doing them 9s, all 9, aren't you? That's awesome. Okay, and let's go ahead and roll for some clones. That 9's going to be hard to beat, I don't know. We'll start off with that. Okay. Okay. Ooh, natural 1. Damn. Alright. So, the first person to go, as always, and sounds to be about right, is going to be Silouan. So, Jeremy, start thinking about some stuff you might want to do. Okay, I'll write down my order here in just a minute. Two. Okay, number 3 is going to be 3. Let's see, we got this right here. 4. And 5. Okay. And on deck is I like how Matthew Mercer does that. He tells the person who's next and who's on deck. I love using that, dude. So Silouan will be first, and the next person to go up will be clones. Tamara will not be for a little bit, Sean, so you have a chance to kind of think about it and see what unfolds in front of you, okay? Silouan, What are we doing? Are we jumping? Are we doing some kind of elemental embrace? Are we trying to do a feat? What are you thinking, boss? You are muted.
I think I went through and typed out a whole bunch of her stuff. I think that she is.
And you don't have to get overly technical. If you read something like the flavor, we're going to do something generic for it and see how it happens, okay?
Right. She's standing back a bit.
She is? Yes, yes, sir. I love that picture of her character. I couldn't believe I found something that fit that well. That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
That's based on the Final Fantasy game of a character named Roberta. And that's the actual art from that. And that just fits her like a T. It's ridiculous.
I think first she's going to use her bonus action to give bardic inspiration to Tamara.
Absolutely. You know what this entails, Jeremy.
Mhm.
You know what you have to do now. So what kind of inspiration are you giving? And give me a sweet poem to tell me how she would say it.
Oh,
See, no, you know what works with bardic inspiration. Come on, buddy.
I have never played it before.
Well, hey, just like Alex, there's a first time for everything today. It's all good.
It's true.
Give me a good one. Give me a short and sweet one, buddy, and let me know what kind of inspiration she's wanting to put on who. Now she can affect up to 3 different people because she is that
Two.
kind of class. Is it 2 or 3?
2 at her level.
Fucking A, look at you in the rules. So what you doing, bud? I'm even going to turn down the music for you. That's how it gets. That's how it's going to be, sir.
We're going short and sweet. I'm going with the first thing that come to mind.
Is this a roses or red shit? I'm going to die.
No, it's didgeridoo. Didgeridoo. Give him a beating. Woo woo woo.
I tell you, that's like some 8th grade cheerleader shit right there. Ish boom boss, sir. I like it. Okay. So tell me the
Now,
form of the
since she can do it on
inspiration.
2 creatures, can she do it on herself and Tamara? I don't know. Can bards inspire themselves?
I want to say there's one class of bard that can.
You know what?
Or
Let's
they
just have
have to
fun
reach
with
a
it.
certain level.
50-50 chance. 1 through 10 she can, 11 through 20 she can't because the DM is not playing everybody tonight. She cannot with a natural 18, but she can inspire 2 other people. So maybe she'll inspire Brahmas to be better at darts next time they play. And then she'll inspire Tamara, correct?
Right.
Okay, what is this plus? What's it do, sir?
1d6.
To an ability score, roll, what kind of stuff?
Whatever bardic inspiration covers. I know it's ability scores, and I think you can use it on attack rolls, can't you?
Tonight we can.
So that was
I
your
like
bonus
it.
action.
Just the rules are going out the door. Sean's just rolling his eyes. He's like, you're throwing logic out the door, you red-headed bastard. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so Arc Inspiration, Tweedledee, Tweedledee-doo. I don't know how to sing poems, and now I'm near to you. Okay, so
With her lance, she's got a 10-foot reach, correct?
well, that's the thing with this. When she targets somebody with this, she can target up to half her movement.
Gotcha.
Remember,
I'm saying,
so
'cause it's a bonus action of bolt, so I just
and
use
she can-
my bonus action for inspiration.
and what's her total movement? I think like 40 foot or more because of her dex, right?
I think her vault is 40 foot. I do know that.
Okay, so yeah, so she can vault up to either 15 or up to 40 foot away, I believe. Or no, it goes up 40 foot, and she can go half her movement away from her. So she
Right.
can go up to 20 foot away from her and come down on somebody. So if in her range right now you got 5, 10, 15, the only one in her real range right now is number 5. But if you do that Gale Assault, it hits an area, and you could damn near get everybody in that, I would have to assume.
That's just an action for that, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's either Gale Ascent or Gale Descent. And you want to use it on the descending.
Gotcha.
Okay?
But she won't be able to vault since that's her bonus action. So, let's just say,
Well, no, it's part of her It's like a divine smite kind of thing. Like when you go up to it, you can add it to the end of her vault.
Well, that's what I mean. I wouldn't be able to vault without a bonus action.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe you can. I don't think vaulting. Does vaulting take her bonus action to do, or does it just take her movement?
I kind of wrote down as bonus action and 3 MP.
Okay.
Cost half her movement.
And then what does Gale Assault or Ascent or Descent take? To do?
Gale Assault, it just says 5 MP. I don't think it registered it.
So it's like Divine Smite. You just add it to whichever one you do. So is that the call?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So here's what's great. You get graphics, which I know everyone always loves. Just a minute here. Let's go to Silouan. Where are you, Silouan? There you are, young lady. Okay, you don't only get the lance graphics, which are really fun and cool to use. Who are you targeting with the lance?
We're going to do the
5, 10, 15, 20. Well, that one's going to be a little bit too far away. It'd have to be this one, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move that over here. That's the one you're targeting with the lance. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do the Gale Assault. That will be on her. The winds pick up around her and take on the elemental form of a dragon's head, which matches her helmet. As she jumps up into the air and comes down in that direction. Make sure I can do this right. Yeah, this is just amateur hour now. This is getting bad. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. You're like, Brian, that was all really cool when you were actually doing it. Go like this right here. Okay, Silouan jumps. Bam! Comes down on the bad guy. Let's go ahead and move her up above Yakon. That graphic looks right. There you go. Okay. So she comes down. Roll for an attack, Jeremy. What's that? You see her attack bonus?
Yes.
I think it's 11 or 12, right?
We had 19. And I'm going to use one of her D4s for the turn.
Look, she'd be using that weapon specialist. She's watching this video like, use that shit.
That's going to make it a 23.
23 hits and breaches the creature. Bam. When you come down. Now, you did all 40 foot of your shit. This is a lot of dice here. Plus, you put a Gale Descent on it. So, do you have a rough idea? And if not, I have an idea in my head, and I can tell you what to roll.
Hey, I'll have to have you tell me, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, let's just speed through it just because we're doing this, and they're not here. So, no, it's 1d8 for a lance. Plus, I think it's at least another 3d8 for the Gale thing. Okay? Plus a 1d6 for every 10 foot she jumps, right?
I think so.
So that's, if you use the full thing, it's 30 foot right now is what she can do, I think. So that's 3d6 added on to the strike. So 4d8 and 3d6. Plus her bonuses on top of that. It's monster. It's monster.
See, 18 and 12 is 30, plus 3 is 33, plus 4 is 37.
Damn, dude. Okay, when she hits that one, let's roll and see which one it is. This is a roll I'm not going to let you guys do. This is up to me. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's this one here. And which one was that one that you just hit? That was 5. That hit Silouan, Jeremy, Brahmas, Merc, whoever the fuck you are, but it did not feel like it hit true. This is an illusion, okay? So, although this took damage and made, and you would have heard this too, Miasha, as he went through and hit this one in this way, Yakon was visibly shook a little bit as he's trying to recompose himself. You see Tanima's small goblin hand grip tighten up on the side of his gi. He's like, Stay with them. They are learning. This is good. Please continue. Okay? With that, that's one attack. Is all that took in your bonus actions. You have more attacks now. You hit down. You know this wasn't the one. Your lance has 10 foot of reach. So now you can pretty much reach either one of the other two from that location. As you're standing here, and they're all within 10 foot of you. If you had a cleaving strike, you could hit both of them, but I don't think she has that feat.
That is the plan.
Do you have a cleaving strike?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a 1d20 and we'll figure her out. That's smart. So you remember, Displacer Beasts, swing for the broad area and you're bound to get them in there, unless they can displace from a long way away. What'd you get?
1.
You already used your 1d4 for this turn, but you have your daily 1d6 if you need it.
Sorry, she was just telling me everything. My son just finished eating.
Nice. Is it like this amazing sundae of sugar and shit that's going to last for years? Because you look
Everything
happy
he can
about
get
it.
his hands on. She's made herself like 3 sandwiches in the last hour, and time she looks away, he grabs it.
Yeah, you should spend more time being a parent, less time playing D&D, Jeremy. That's what I say. All right, buddy. Go ahead. What's going on?
So she rolled 21 to hit with the
And that-
cleaving strike.
That just hits.
And cleaving strike. Sacrifice 5 or 10 feet, depending on the enemy's positions.
Okay.
So I would have to extend what, 10?
Yep.
Okay. So
Putting the smack down, Silwyn. Damn.
I just beat the ACP in the first one, so
Okay.
the attack versus the second one's at disadvantage, and the first attack is half damage.
Okay, so go ahead and do it with disadvantage for the second. Remember, 20 is the ACP for these things. Tell me good things, Jeremy. Tell me good fucking things.
At disadvantage, she rolled an 8 plus her. You got it.
19.
And I haven't used the D4 this turn, right?
You already used the D4. You got a one a day D6.
Okay, we're gonna roll the D6.
Because you're at 19 now.
24.
That hits. Shoo! Burning through her shit. Yeah, Heather, I hope you're not planning on doing adventuring after this fight, because he's burning through your dice like a psychopath. Go ahead and roll your damage for your basic attack that's going to be cleaving. 1d8 plus what it says there in the description. You can go ahead and just go right through it.
Plus 4, 8.
8, okay. This thing is already visibly hurt and having a hard time holding itself together. As Tamara is going to be like, you go, Silwyn. She's like clapping, being like, yeah. Okay. I mean, you've really put a hurting on that one just that quickly. As you do, oh no, I'm sorry. These are 2 new ones you're hitting. My bad. When you hit through both of those, you have a sense. Roll a perception check with advantage for her. 1d20, 1d6.
Yes. 16 plus. She doesn't have a note on her character sheet.
16's
Plus
enough.
3,
That'll work,
19.
boss. Okay. So, I'm going to say you swang going up the screen this direction with that wide arc of your glaive. Because she uses a glaive. She specifically told me that's what she uses. And you went right through this one and wafted through this one down here. But when you got to this one, you hit home. And number 6 seems to be the lucky contestant. And when you do that, you can just see Tamara start to hunker down, and she starts to bless herself with some kind of divine powers if Sean wants her to. What else is Silwyn doing on her turn?
I think if she noticed that that's the real one, she's going to
You have some movement left. Do you have another attack? You've
I
used
think
2
she's-
attacks.
I think she's going to hang back. Just hang out where she's at.
Okay, as that one, I could see Heather being like, "It's that one!"
Yeah.
like yelling and pointing out.
She is definitely going to alert Tamara.
Get that fucker.
Get that one.
That's awesome. Okay, so with that, with inspiration on Tamara, Sean, Silouan has pointed out, has bloodhounded the one that needs to be taken down. Tamara's back behind her with a 1d6 of inspiration waiting in her back pocket. What would Tamara like to do, sir?
Does Tamara have Bless as a spell?
Absolutely.
She'd like to cast Bless on herself and Silouan.
Okay, just give me a brief description as to what that does, sir.
It adds a 1d4 to all their attack and saving throws.
Okay, is that her full action to do that, or is
Yeah,
that
it takes an action to do that, and then she's just gonna move to get closer to the one real clone.
Okay, so it's here.
And-
So do you want to
Yeah.
go down and around, or do you want to go up and above?
Whichever gets the Tamara there faster.
Okay, and do you want to get within 5 foot of that creature, or within 10 because you have a flail? Which one would you like to do?
I'll get within 10 feet so that I can keep distance.
Okay, as you do that, that's good because the other one wouldn't get an attack of opportunity against you, and you're within 10 foot. Do you have a bonus action or anything else you'd like to do at this point?
I don't think so. Does Tamara have any bonus actions available?
Well, I mean, like, I'm sure there's a bonus action spell. I don't think, probably so, but I can't think of it right off the top of my head. So we'll say, probably not. I'll give you a chance to do like an extra flail attack as a bonus action if you'd like.
Actually, no. She's going to just stand ready to defend at this point.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Okay, so it's going to be their turn now. Okay, so, by the way, Sean, I just want to ask, just for shits and giggles, does this other person around here wish to intervene in this in any way whatsoever?
Yes.
He's
Before
like,
she's going to target the knife that's still on the ground.
yep,
Use 2 key points to cast Silence.
silence. Look at you throwing in the fun shit. Okay, let's do some silence, everyone. So there's
This is of course after Tamara goes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just change the color of this just for the hell of it. Filter, color adjustments, hue and saturation. Oh yeah, that's because it's not an optional rebel. Let's go ahead and do this then. Just a minute. Delete. Okay, we're gonna go right here probably. And let's go ahead and go with a new one. And what kind of area does that cover, boss? Hey, Sean, do you know what kind of area that covers?
I want to say it's a 20-foot area.
Okay. All right, well, let's just do that then. Let's get some 20 going on here. Let's go light purple. 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. Boom. And let's make her right there. And you're centering that on who, boss? The whole group like that, or do you want to put it on someone particularly?
No, I'm centering it on the wherever I threw the knife previously.
Well, it was about right there.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Silence it is, everyone. Silence is back on the menu, boys. All right, so for the next turn, Alex, I'm going to let you have a little bit of fun here. So these guys are doing a version of the Steel Wind Strike. I don't know if you want to pull that up or whatnot, but it's pretty much just several different attacks. I'm doing a generic version of it. That he takes all 3 clones, and he's able to attack anywhere within this ring. And the way I've done this generically is roll 1d8, And that's how many attacks he gets with all 3 clones. So roll your 1d8 and tell me what the number is. You're muted, but I can tell you got a fucking 1, didn't you? Good Lord!
Yeah.
No, for now on, guys, Alex rolls for the bad guys. Every time. It's her all day. Okay.
Alex P comes in clutch with the high rolls. Alex H, not as so.
Right on, right on. Okay, so with that attack, Alex, of these 2, which one do you believe Yakon would feel is the most threatening? You can either roll 1d6 and decide by fate. There's only 2 of them to pick through, or you can choose.
I'll roll a d6.
1 through 3 is who?
The one that's closest towards the bottom is 1 through 3. And the one, yep.
Okay, Silliwan's 1 through 3. Go ahead.
Yep. A 5.
That's Tamara. They're targeting the beast. Okay. Go ahead and roll 1 measly attack roll, a 1d20 plus 11.
23.
23 for Tamara. Jeremy, do you happen to know I don't know if that hits her or not. I mean, I don't even know.
So.
You know what? And I'm going to say no, it doesn't, because she has that shield and everything else in front of her too. I'm going to say that does not. As that thing comes in, it's going to miss, and Tamara is going to use her counter attack feat. Sean, does that sound sweet?
Yep.
Okay, and that is number 6, which is Real Boy doing that shit. So I rolled to see which one of them was doing a strike, so she's going to do that. Alex, God, it's so fun jumping from person to person. Sean's making the calls, Alex is rolling the shit. It's like we're NASA, people. It's like it's the NASA of D&D. Roll me a 1d20 plus, I think, 12 for Tamara.
I rolled a nat 1.
Hold on. I have to refill my beer for this. I can't do this. My nerves can't do it. Gary Gygax is rolling in his grave right now because we're rolling 1s for the bad guys. He's rolling in his fucking grave. I know he is.
Jeremy knows I'm notorious for rolling 1s.
Woo!
Or rolling really well whenever it's against my own teammates.
Her name is Alex, everybody. For those of you that watched the episode, her new nickname is Uno.
That works.
Uno! Alright. So, with a natural 1, nothing happens from this potentially devastating strike to all these people. And dare I say it, Silliwan, you're up again. And it seems surprisingly fast. How much fun. Jeremy's like, I wasn't ready. I'm still thinking about the sandwiches that my kid's making. I'm not prepared for this. This should have taken at least 15 minutes longer. Go ahead, Jeremy. What is Silliwan doing now? As this thing comes over, and she'd probably be laughing. Silliwan better be telling Tamara, like, these things are amateurs. They got no chance. Just kick their asses and let's go get some drinks.
So, is the silence effect a visual effect? Like, would she know when she's out of it?
Sean?
Silence. So what silence does is there's no sound. So thunder damage is no effect. There's no sound. So any spell that requires a verbal component cannot be cast within this sphere.
Well, I guess the question is, can they tell it's being cast on them? I guess is the trick.
If like I said, if there's a verbal component, they can't hear anything. So it's like dead silence in that area. It's just an area of silence.
So do this for me, Silliwan. Roll a perception. No. Roll an Arcana check for me for Silliwan to see if she notices that. Oh, because she just yelled that shit out, didn't she? She just said that shit to Tamara. It's like, you got this and that and the other. Nothing comes out. She's like, and nothing happens. So, roll an Arcana check with advantage, Jeremy.
At 20.
She gets it. She's drinking the Kool-Aid. She's picking up what you're putting down. No sound here.
Has she noticed a shift at all, or is it still the same guy in the same spot?
Hasn't noticed a shift. With a nat 20, I would let you know there has not been a shift yet.
All right. So she is going to position herself north, and she's going to keep going until she can hear everything again. So basically,
Okay.
once she is confident she is out of that and she can speak and be heard, then she is going to
15 foot, sir.
Okay.
But you can't get any more juice out of your 20. You've squeezed the lemon for everything it's got, boss.
that'll work.
But as a fair and honest DM, I don't mind doing that for you. So what is it that you are doing now that you're within singing range, you bardic fool?
I was thinking of casting a spell. If I cast a spell, I can't attack, can I?
Nope, but you can cast a spell or attack. And those are two good options.
Well, she'll just use 20 foot of her, what's left of her movement, to do her vault.
Okay. On number 6.
Yep, the one that she recognizes, the real boy.
Get it, real boy. I like it. Okay, let's do that. You just doing Lance? Got it.
Yep. And
Okay,
she
and-
is going to use her aerial assault or gale assault, whichever.
You want to add Gale Assault to it again?
Sure.
Okay, remember, I know we're not going to run out of magic points with her tonight, but just keep in mind that's soaking them up, okay?
Right. Yeah, she used 10. So.
And if you happen to find that to see how many exact d8s that adds, I think it's like Divine Smite. I think it's 3d8 or 2d8, depending on how she does it. Boom, shakalaka. On top of the big boy. And we now take this moment of reading pleasure to just relax and have a sip of our beers and enjoy the fact that Jeremy's playing two characters. Cheers, everyone. And Alex, you thought you had it rough tonight, right? If not, Jeremy, we can just stick up to 3d8. It's fine. Because I'm not trying to rush you by any means at all. It's D&D. It is what it is. But if you're having a hard time finding it or reading it, it's no big deal, bud.
Yep, I got it right here.
Look at you,
So
like a boss.
she's got her vault, which is 3 MP, so she has 10, 13. This will be 16 MP.
We use magic points, Alex, instead of spell slots. But I tell you what, though, you can do a lot more simple things, but big things cost a lot more. It's a real fun way of going about casting spells and having utility with characters. Magic points are the way to go. We have a lot of fun with it. Warlocks, it's a pain in the ass because they have to cast everything at max level, but it doesn't limit how many times they can cast as much as with the warlocks from the book. So they're a little bit more powerful, but they don't have any kind of handle on how strong shit is coming out of them. So I've kept that aspect of it. So we got Jeremy. What's up?
Her aerial assault is 1d6 for every 10 feet.
Right, which is 3d6 because she's at 30, right?
40.
Okay, so 4d6
Yes.
plus 1d8 for the glaive.
Yep. And
And then what is the Gale Assault do?
assault reaches the peak of their vault. Draw the element of wind, feel their sense. 5 MP, so it's 21. 6, which is bonus turn. Sends and deals 1.5 their normal aerial assault damage.
So whatever you roll in that 3d6, you add plus half to that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like it. So first, I tell you what you're going to need to do.
Plus
You're,
2.
you're going to have to roll a d20. Tell me if you actually hit. Why are we counting this shit yet, bud? And don't use Alex's dice. Use your own. Yeah.
The attack gains the effects of elemental affinity, so it gets a +2 to the attack roll. That's a 15 plus
11.
Yeah.
26 definitely hits this son of a gun. Roll some dice, buddy. Now, You want to use your 1d4 and oh, you can't. It'd be a 19 at most, so you wouldn't be able to do a crit on it. Okay. That weapon specialization, Alex, you can use that once a turn for one of your attacks. It adds a 1d4 to whichever thing you want it to be added to. So it's a nice thing. It takes a feat and it takes several skill points to get it, but it's nice to have in your back pocket.
Okay.
Wait till you get against a bunch of goblins that have human slayer and have weapon specialization, and you think they missed you, and I'm like, oh no, and I'm just rolling dice. It gets to be shitty. Go ahead, Jeremy.
26 damage.
20.
And the creature needs to make a strength saving throw or be knocked back 15 feet and prone.
I have a way of doing that. What's the DC? 1d20 plus, I think, 7?
1 for every 10 feet plus the charisma modifier.
Ooh, so that's 4.
1d20 plus 4 plus...
4 more. I think it's 8. Yeah, her charisma bonus is a 4, so that's 8. So go ahead and roll 1d20 plus 8, buddy.
23.
Holy shit, you suck, man. And fail. And what I'm going to do for this is, because this isn't a physical entity that can be pushed or dumped, we're going to say that this actually separates the entity and makes it push back almost like smoke caught in the wind. So, my friend, as she comes down on that, which direction would you like to push it in?
Pushing it back towards the tree.
Okay. I just want you guys to understand something, that you're putting everything underneath the tree where the audience can't see it. That's a bummer, but I have a way around it. I'm going to show you right now. So first, let's go to Yakon, because I like making things complicated. Let's find guy number 6. There he is. Let's move him back. How many feet? 10?
I think it's 15.
15. 5.
Basically, her thinking on it is she's not a master of the arena, but I'm sure she's had exposure to arenas. So basically, she's like, this thing goes out of the ring, it's over.
You know what? If I know Silwyn, and more likely I know Heather, I want her to like raise her voice up, and I can tell me if I'm wrong, Jeremy. I can see her going, "He's out, he's done. That doesn't count. I fucking knocked him out. I've been playing your game, Brian, but look, I knocked him out. He's done, right?" So when I do this, we're going to roll a persuasion check for Silwyn, because Heather, I got your back. I know that's some shit you would pull, and so we're going to try it. But before we do that, a little graphics mastery on my part. Let's go ahead and dim the cherry trees so we can see everybody underneath of them. Oh, look, it's magic. There's everybody hiding. That's what's cool about doing layers on this. I can enhance them and stack them. So this is where everybody is. This is Mr. Yakface that got smacked up against the butt of the tree. Silwyn, I want you to roll me a charisma saving or ability check. This is going to be persuasion, which is a bard she's good at. And it gets a 1d4 added to it because of what Tamara did for her. And if you're watching this, D&D hypocrites, and you're like, a 1d4 wouldn't go towards that. Listen, it's my game. You hear me? It's our game. And we decided that the 1d4 goes towards this because that's just how we do. Okay, go ahead, buddy. You are so muted right now. Silence is still cast in the area. You got to undo that shit. Okay.
So she doesn't have any of her skills listed on her character sheet, so I'd say she's probably just kind of broke down.
Roll 1d8, 1d20. And that's how I do that, Alex. If I think someone is moderately skilled in something, it's a 1d20 plus a 1d4. If they're good, it's 1d6. If they're badass, it's 1d8. So I add the variable there.
Gotcha.
By the way, that blinking sound y'all are hearing aren't subscribers. That's not money going into some fake pot. It's because one of my USB drives has a problem with it, and something keeps disconnecting and connecting. So
I thought it was my computer for a second.
No, I've tried fixing it. I've even turned down notifications. So, like, I don't get any sound when I'm in the middle of a Zoom video. Still with the biddy, can't stop it.
16.
16.
That was a 1d20, 1d4, and 1d8.
Yes, okay. With a natural 9, Tanima concedes with Silwen's request. So, with that, Drayden looks puzzled for a minute. He looks over like, is honest, and Drayden doesn't cuss a whole lot, but he has that look on like, we seriously doing this shit? You're going to let that fly? Right? And as he says that, and what doesn't
Wait a minute, this is against the rules, isn't it?
Yeah, right. At that moment, Yakon holds his hand up like this. Takes his chin, holds it up high, and goes like this with his hands. And when that happens, the clones dissipate. As that happens, and let's go ahead and turn the dramatic music down because it doesn't serve this moment purpose. As that happens, you feel, Miasha, Yakon-Ru give out a long sigh. He's a pacifist, you know that, and he would never hurt anyone over on almost any circumstances, but this has been taxing on him. As he's able to relax a little bit from this moment, you can see a look of acknowledgement between Tanima and Yakon-Ru, as if he's saying like, it's alright buddy, we'll call it a day. You know what I mean? You get that connection that the two of them have. As he walks out into the middle of the courtway, or the courtway, it's not a court, it's a fighting ring. How about that?
Sorry to interrupt. My character drops the silence spell.
Fantastic. Let me do that then. Okay. By the way, Sean, awesome additions to this. I appreciate that. It was fun shit, dude. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and go with a little bit of theater of the mind before we wrap up tonight's game. Okay? Let's stop share. And we're back here. Okay. So, having concluded that battle, and when you knocked that, when Silwen's character knocked that chi clone into the tree, and it smacked the actual middle of that tree, the main part of it, you saw the smoke break and wrap around it, not forming back together. As Yakon, like I say, lets out the long exhale and stands up once again with the help of Drayden and Tanima. As he stands there and he walks out into the ring, and he walks up to Silwen, which is standing there after swirling her glaive and landing it and doing this amazing move, okay? And at this moment, the large creature comes up to actually talk to her. What's great is, Miasha, you know in your belly exactly how she feels. It's the first time that he came up and talked to you on that ship ride that time. Mm-hmm. It's this sense of, oh God, what's getting ready to happen to me? You know what I mean? And Silwen's going through that same thing. So as she stands there for just a minute, and she gets this kind of tough look on her face, and her hands start to wrap around the glaive a little bit, Tamara puts her hand on Silwen's shoulder and says, just hear him out, that's why we're here. Which I can very easily see that happening from the two of them. So, with that, Yakon walks up, and he takes off one of the chimes and one of the bells off one of his horns. And he holds it down like this in front of his chest. And the pale eyes are barely visible now that you know the look for them. And he holds out his hand and goes to offer her this chime off of his large horn. A 1 through 15, she'll take it. A 16 through 20, she will not take it. Jeremy, roll me a 1d20.
1.
That's a great roll. She gladly accepts that as from one person to another. She takes that charm, and as she does, he puts his large hair-covered hand and thick black skin, almost like gorilla-like kind of fingers, and puts it over top of her hand and pushes it towards her. And he says, "This can be used to see things that normally one wouldn't see. Only real things make noise." As one of his ears twitch, as if it has a fly on it, as he looks around at those clouded over eyes just looking out into the sky. He goes, "Only real things move grass. Only real things." And he holds his big finger out and he pokes the bell as it chimes. He goes, "Ring a bell." Okay. So, having said that, Silhouette, and you'll have to remind her, has this item on her. It's a magical item, okay? And she can take this thing, and when she identifies something that is real versus an illusion, she can take this thing and throw at it, and it will adhere to whatever that is, and everyone else in the group, no matter where you are, for a minute with concentration will know what is real and what is not. Okay? Just literally come up with that shit. I think it's cool. So that's something that she has that she can use with us later on. So if we're fighting displacer beasts and she finds out the real one out of a group, she can throw this bell at it and it will stick to that, signifying to everyone. It's almost like fairy fire as a magic item. Okay? So that's what she gained out of that one. I'll do another moment here of Tanima and then we'll move on. It's terrible. I hate it. We may have to end soon if it keeps doing this shit. That's rapid. Okay, so anyway, with that, Drayden comes up to you again, Merc, and is congratulating you on the good job that you've done. Okay? Talking to you about, I don't know exactly where you are headed after this, but, I know that Bastille will be going with you. I can't, however, I can't join you on this one. Do everyone a favor and watch out for him as he unselfishly watched out for you. When you first came to the city. Can you do that for me? Okay. So Brahmas just gives a nod. Okay. With that, Tanima walks into the center of everyone and looks around at Miasha. He looks at you with a finger going like this, goes, "You did good. You all did good. Better than I had hoped you would do. Better than any of us thought you would do. As a matter of fact, it's good to know so many people are kicking ass." He says, "But the problem with such a test is that displacer beasts don't have charisma. They don't have conscience. They just have hungry bellies. They want to eat to survive. What are you going for on this trip to the Crescent Cradle? Are you going to survive? Are you going to feed a need inside of your belly?" And he points at Silhouette. In a weird way, maybe talking about her recent jump into alcoholism. Right? He walks around and discusses some of these topics with you all for the next few minutes. When he's done with the conversation, you guys will have an option when fighting displacer beasts, where you are able to use your bonus action, and you want to make a note of this, Jeremy. You're able to use your bonus action to do a wisdom or a perception check to help identify if at least one of the images is not real when fighting displacer beasts. Okay? You will have that because of the actual, to tell you the truth, because I didn't think you guys win the majority of these, but with you winning each one of these matches and finding the false ones so easily, and even with certain people helping in the background to make it more difficult, you still did very well, especially against the massive attack that it could throw out at everybody. So this is something that will help you in game with displacer beasts when and if you encounter them when you go to the Crescent Cradle. Does that work for you, boss? Okay. So, with that, it is 10:20. Usually what I'll do here, Alex, is we'll say our goodbyes, wave, and end the video. And then we'll have like a 5-minute bullshit session afterwards talking about, whatever we want to. And then we'll plan our next one. So, for everybody here, once again, I'm Brian Kynes. Super appreciate everyone taking time out on a Sunday afternoon to get together and play some D&D. This was a real fun one. This was really good and I had a good time with it. So, once again, everyone take care of themselves, and we will hopefully see you next Sunday. Okay, later on.
Bye.